It wasn't my fault.
Good morning, Tampa Bay, and welcome to the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection radio show, a Shipyard Sports Connection production in our new alliance to increase our social media footprint as well as expand our content and podcasts while providing a positive perspective from the Pee-wees to the preps to the pros this April 11th. Yankees-Rays weekend. Bravo, great win last night by the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll talk. There are only 2 games out of first, boys, and we'll talk a little bit about that in the first portion of the show. We're on FloridaSportsStreams.com, RadioSt.Pete.com. We're live from Fergs Sports Bar and Grill, America's #1 local sports bar, as voted by USA Today in our home for the last almost 7 years. And of course, we're on our YouTube channel as well, and that's Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection. I'm Mike Rickard, baseball Ben Botham to my left, Nick Cowan, our resident comedian and bat boy, and Alex Reba in the house as well. And we're going to have a little recap of the Final Four, the dramatic and the dominance of the Big Ten. We'll talk about that. The Rays opener and last night's game, and a little Masters chat. I'm sure you won't mind that, Alex, at all. And I'm kind of curious on this Big Ten dominance, and we've got the Frozen Four taking place at all as well. We're going to launch our first Shipyard Sports Connection conversation. Bobby Labby, he's the GM of the Sea Dogs up there in Camden, Maine. Lifelong Boston Bruins fan. He'll be at the Bruins and Lightning puck drop at 12:30. He'll give us a report. And last night he was at the Boston Celtics game where they set a record. And on the last night of the NBA, Ben, I'm sure you're disappointed now the NBA's regular season.
So absolutely heartbroken, Mike.
I know
it's
I know.
really bumming me out.
We'll get you a Shipyard on draft to drown your sorrows. We got a great show, though. We'll then continue the conversation after that with Wyatt Ross. Wyatt was at ESPN for about 10 days, and he's our phenom. We'll talk about the Bolts and their position in the playoffs. Actually, today, the Bruins are playing for playoff position, so they'll be playing, and we'll see what kind of lineup John Cooper puts out there. In the second hour, we shift gears. We go to Body Armor Coca-Cola Primetime Preps. We've got the Seminole track and field team. You know the coach.
Oh, yeah, Coach Barnes. He's a great guy. 2 doors down from me, so we'll be reminiscing about yesterday.
Love track and field. And then we'll talk to Indian Rocks baseball team, and we'll throw that to you, and Brad Richardson will be in the house. We're streaming live, as I mentioned, on our YouTube channel. And, of course, it's archived on YouTube and the audio on Spotify and FloridaSportsStreams.com. As we do each and every Saturday from 11 to 1, we bring you a positive perspective. And we're down here at Fergs where it'll be an exciting day. There'll be a ton of Yankee fans in the house, as there always is. And Alex shakes his head in disgust.
You mean people from Tampa?
Yeah, pretty much so. We've got a great supporting cast. Adam Fernandez, he's been doing an unbelievable job, and he'll be very, very. He'll be leading the charge in our Shipyard Sports Connection multimedia footprint with Fred Forsley. So looking forward to that. Alex, a lot to talk about.
Where do you want to start?
It's your microphone, my man.
Put a bow on March Madness.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that because we got plenty of baseball to talk about. You got 2 baseball guys beside you.
Yeah, I'm ready to talk baseball. I'm fired up. That was a huge win last night. I was definitely starting to get a little concerned about the Rays, but we'll get into that a little later. Yeah, let's talk about March Madness. Like you said, the dominance of Michigan has completed. Champions in National Collegiate Football, champions in National Collegiate Basketball, both on the men's and the women's side. Shout out to the UCLA Bruins for knocking off South Carolina. Not sure a lot of people had that going into the season this year. And then, like you said, Frozen Four, we could see the Badgers pick up a win for the Big Ten. I'm happy. I think everyone who's part of the conference is happy. I know the Big O is not happy about the Michigan Wolverines getting their first championship in quite a time since the Big Five. The Dream Five back in the day. Chris Webber, I saw they had an alt cast during the game, so that's pretty cool for them. But yeah, what can we say about this Michigan team that we haven't said all year? I mean, you think back to the Players Era tournament in Vegas where they just obliterated everyone in their path, and they kind of did that in the Final Four. I mean, credit to UConn, they gave them a game.
They played their ass off.
But they didn't shoot well enough, and we saw that in both games. It was very miserable shooting in both of the national championships, both on the men's side and the women's side.
Great defense, though.
Great defense, of course. Yeah, I mean, Michigan was an elite, top Ken Palm team defensively, as was UConn all season. And like we said, that UConn team has some really tough guys. Silas Demery, Solo Ball, Terrace Reed, a Michigan transfer playing for UConn. Crazy enough,
the mentality of Hurley.
Yeah, absolutely. And the crazy story about that Terrace Reed guy, he played for Michigan. He played for UConn, but at the wrong time. He didn't win either national championship under Hurley, and then he played.
And they'd been to 3
with UConn this year. Didn't win at all. Didn't win with Michigan. So that's a pretty fun wrinkle in his story. I'm sure he's not happy about that. But, a lot of credit to Dusty May. He utilized the transfer portal better than anyone else. This entire starting lineup was created from the transfer portal. They got a guy in Yaxel Lindeborg, who's the American Player of the Year last year, coming out of UAB. He's 25 years old, plays like it. He has an NBA-ready body. Elliot Cadeau, I think, was my biggest player of this tournament for Michigan, because I looked at Michigan on paper when they lost LJ Kaysen prior to the tournament to an Achilles injury. I did not think they had the guard depth to win in March Madness. I don't think most teams can get far if they don't have good guard depth. But this Michigan team was so sound defensively. They could also just go up 12-0 on a run, and you had absolutely no idea what hit you. Kind of like the Golden State Warriors, but they didn't do it with threes. They did it with such solid transition offense, great defense, their size. A.D. Mara is such a mismatch.
I was going to talk about their inside game, too.
He's such a mismatch. I mean, there is no one in college basketball that can guard a guy with his kind of length.
Another Spaniard.
Yeah, I mean, and his size. You look at a guy like Olivier Rioux on Florida, who's 7'9", who they couldn't use because he's a defensive liability. You can put him in pick and roll. You can get open looks. You can get open threes if you have a undersized forward. But, man, A.D. Mara, he has such a good touch. And you get bigs.
And he's athletic.
They're not used to going. You have to put so much loft on your shots to just get it over his hand. You're not used to that, especially in college basketball. So he was a guy, he played at UCLA last year, was a valuable contributor to Mick Cronin's teams. But Dusty May kind of unlocked him in this offense. And when you can put him next to a guy like Yaxel Lindeborg, who actually got hurt in that Final Four game, and that was the bigger storyline for me. The biggest storyline was the way they dominated an Arizona team that I came on here and said was going to win, and I thought was going to handedly win just because they had so much depth, they had so much length, they had all these guys that I had so much faith in. And without LJ Kaysen, I just didn't see if Michigan was going to get past them. They were up by 30 at one point in that Final Four game. They made them look ridiculous, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So it's just such a credit to Elliot Cadeau, how well he managed that offense for Michigan. He was a guy that
That kid's a stud.
He is a chirper too. He got under the skin of other guys, and I gotta respect it because it worked, and he backed it up, and he hit big shots for them throughout that tournament. He didn't turn the ball over. He kept it in Michigan's hands, and then they went to work with it. And just so much credit to that team.
And draws fouls like a pro. I mean, he's superb.
They are so smart. They got guys off the bench, Cheddar, guys who have been around. I nothing but respect for that Michigan championship. But we are in a bit of a crisis point, I would say, in collegiate basketball, because you look at that team and the transfer portal that they are made up of. I just saw the USF Bulls do not have a current active basketball player on their roster. Now, I know their coach left, but that is a crazy standpoint that we are in. I know Penn State, they just lost their top recruit in their history of college basketball because he said he was going to come back. He decided his NIL was not high enough. He put a number out there. That number would have superseded all of their NIL for the college basketball program. We could have not fielded a roster. He's now in the portal.
How about my Iowa Hawkeyes? I mean, this kid was he was the darling of their drive to the Elite Eight, and now he's in the transfer portal.
Bennett Sturts, is that who you're referring to?
No, the kid from Spain.
Oh, yes. Fulgaris. Yeah, Alvaro Fulgaris. Yeah. I mean, he's
a Greek god in Iowa right now, and he's gone.
That's the thing. I mean, these guys are just looking to get their paydays, and it's completely unregulated. There's absolutely no loyalty whatsoever. And to an extent, it is free agency, and why wouldn't you do it if you're a player, you're a college kid who can cash in? I mean, I'm assuming Alvaro Fulgaris does not end up in the NBA. Maybe I'm wrong to say that.
I think that's a fair statement.
But maybe, I'll probably go back to Europe. But he's not going to get paid like he could right now in the collegiate basketball moment, where his value is at an all-time high with the way he played in that tournament. So I think they got to figure this out. I think we talk about this once every couple months on this show. It gets brought up on every other Talking Head show. It is just such a a nightmare as a fan when your team gets completely churned year over year. And I hear guys that are smart that I agree with, like Jay Billis saying, coaches have been able to leave their programs forever, and they have buyouts, and they get paid $10 million to go somewhere else. But it's a completely different scenario when we have, 5,000 collegiate basketball players in D1 basketball, and I think I saw 3,500 of them are in the portal. We do not have that kind of turnover among coaches, and coaches have buyouts, and coaches do not coach for 5 different programs in 5 different years, which is what we're seeing from top guys. And it's just like PJ Haggerty, great example. He's going on his 5th team in 5 years. He was a top scorer at Memphis. He was a top scorer at K-State. I don't know where he's going to be a top scorer at next year, but
playing into their mid-20s.
It's completely insane. It's not what college basketball was founded upon. They need to figure it out somehow. I'm not sure what the solution is. I think they just have to, as an NCAA body, pay their players like they are employees, but they don't want to do that. They don't want to have them because it opens up a whole new different set of taxes.
They don't want a salary cap.
They don't. I mean, they actually do kind of have a salary cap because you're only allowed to have $20 million in NIL. But if you're a Providence who doesn't have football, who wants to pump 17 of that into your collegiate basketball program, you can. So Coach Hodgins, he's gotten some guys already. He got one of the top transfers from the Aztecs. He's making good moves for.
And
for
Creighton needs to do the same things. They don't have a football program.
And they're in a different era too. They got a new coach. Yeah, I'm fascinated to see where it goes. And there's an argument being made about people, I hate the transfer portal. I hate the transfer portal. Well, you hate the way your team has utilized it, because if you're Michigan right now, you don't hate the transfer portal. If you're Indiana in football, you don't hate the transfer portal because you've got national titles out of it. But if you're a small or mid-major, I mean, you are just absolutely getting crushed by the portal and by the way coaches are leaving for bigger programs, which has always been the case. But it's even being exacerbated now because you have guys taking their entire rosters with them who are taking or these guys are just wanting to find as much NIL money. So I don't want to end on a dark note. I want to end on a positive note. Michigan, they played their butts off this tournament. They wire to wire were one of the top 4 teams in college basketball all season. They played like it in the Final Four. They really didn't have too many scares in this tournament either. I think St. Louis, I saw, was the team that got closest to them at any point during the tournament. So shout out Josh Schertz and Robbie Avila because they played a heck of a ball game against Michigan. But Michigan was just a better team than almost everyone this entire season. And they have a national champion to show for it. They ended the Big Ten drought, and I got to give them a lot of credit for that. So hopefully we have some fun college basketball to report on in the future. I'm excited for that. We got the American tournament coming to Tampa next year. That's exciting. We don't have March Madness in town next year, but that'll be a nice little taste prior to March Madness. And yeah, some exciting developments over the offseason. Hopefully USF under Chris Mack can get some momentum and keep what they got going this year done. So do you guys want to shift over to baseball? I'm sure you're...
I do have a comment, though.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Believe it or not, I have a basketball comment.
Let's go.
Because I actually got a pick right. I called Michigan winning this whole thing. I'm a Michigan guy. And believe it or not, I stuck around after the show on Monday and watched the game here at Fergs. Maybe had a few, but I was the biggest Michigan fan in St. Pete. So I'm really proud of that. Not that I have a super allegiance to it, but it was cool to see. I mean, you know how it is, like, just with, local sports where people are so tight with their colleges or the community. I know how much it does for Ann Arbor, for, like, the whole state of Michigan when they do well. But, I mean, it's just, I think it was a pretty good tournament from what I did see. But that game was really fun to watch for me. But baseball-wise, yeah.
Any other comments, Ben? Big college basketball guy. I know you.
No, I'm really happy that team won, and it's great for them. I'm happy for the players, for the coaches, for the school. Go basketball. Keep dunking.
Who won the national championship?
Let's go Michigan.
He just talked for 10 minutes.
They got it.
Yeah.
His interest level is less than 0.
Active listening over here.
I'll go see the Harlem Globetrotters. They're good. I like them. They got the 4-point shot, and they dribble and they spin. And
I will give you some credit to your anti-NBA take, because the NBA is at an all-time low right now with the way the tanking has gotten. It's so out of control.
165 players sat out last night.
It is like disgusting. Like I have the Cavs and the Lakers. Obviously, I don't care about the Lakers, but I'm a LeBron guy. But I'm a huge Cavs fan, and I have been so tuned out to them because the league is such a joke right now. And I think the Cavs, they're in the 4 seed right now. That means they're going to either play, they'll have the home court advantage in round 1. They're either going to play Toronto or Atlanta in round 1. And I'm happy with that. And they have no reason. They're going to want to try to stay in that spot because they don't want to move up and have Boston or New York in round 1 or round 2. They have a good path where they can avoid both of those teams until the Eastern Conference Finals. Go through Detroit. Sorry, Oscar, but go through Detroit is definitely a preferable path than go through Boston, who looks rejuvenated with Jason Tatum. So, yeah, it's just a weird place where all these teams are kind of vying for positioning, but they're doing it through tanking. And the 12 teams that are in the lottery, this is such a strong draft class because the freshmen in college basketball all season were phenomenal, and they're going to be, talked about going into this NBA draft consistently. But they have to figure out this lottery system because right now you have a system that incentivizes tanking. You incentivize teams trying to lose who are not, they're not lowering the price of their tickets.
Fans are getting disappointed, and you're a diehard fan.
I do not feel like I'm a diehard fan of the NBA right now, and it's going into the playoff push. I've been watching significantly, like almost exclusively baseball and hockey, and I'm not even that big of a hockey guy.
Good man.
But the Penguins are going into the playoffs, so shout out them. Ending the 3-year curse. The Lightning, I don't mind seeing them right now because they are struggling. So happy to see them potentially. I need a couple of standing movements. Get the Hurricanes out of my path because they look like the best team in the East. There's your hockey talk from me.
I did see a cool reel. Somebody was proposing an idea to prevent the tanking, and they said, however far they slip going down that road, you lower the price of beer. And the better that they do, you increase the price of beer. So if your team's doing really bad, you're getting 10-cent beer nights. Sign me up. I'll start showing up to an Orlando Magic game.
Games, yeah.
I'll make the trip to Orlando.
There's a lot of out there decisions being proposed for this tanking thing. Bill Simmons said the same thing. He's like, if your team for 3 years consistently tanks, you should have to discount your tickets by 75% because you've clearly shown you don't care about winning. Why should the fans have to pay?
And you don't care about your fan base.
Yeah, look. I don't want to say it's not a good strategy because if I was the GM of the Washington Wizards right now, I would be trying my best to lose as many games as possible because the current system rewards me with the top pick, most likely. Obviously it's a lottery system, so there's no guarantee of it.
But you're going to get a great pick.
But you're going to get a better pick than if you continue to try to win and maybe come in like the 10 spot and you make the play-in game and then you lose in the play-in game and then you end up with the 10th to 12th pick and you're missing out on baseball, there's so many guys, so many prospects.
Yeah.
You can get Connor Griffin at 8th or whatever, and you get an all-star guy that's a potential franchise player. In college basketball, sometimes you need that top 3 pick, and if you don't have that, the difference between 3 and 4 or even 5, 6 going down the line, it can be astronomical. I mean, you have your unicorns, your Jokic's, your Greek freaks like Giannis that go later in the rounds, but those are a dime a dozen compared to the guys that are in the top 3.
Those are NBA player nicknames.
Oh, I knew a couple of those.
Yes,
but you got to watch it with.
But no, this draft class is so loaded. There's so much talent from these freshmen that if you don't have a top pick this year, you do feel like you're missing out. And under the current system, you're incentivized to tank. So I'm really hopeful that because Adam Silver has proven to be a great commissioner in peacetime. We're in a bit of a wartime in the NBA because the fan base is revolting, the media is revolting.
Let's see how he pivots on
this. And the product has been, Bill Simmons put it great. If he has a commissioner, his top job is to get all of the owners paid. He's done a great job because he's gotten them tons of great new media deals. They're on Amazon Prime.
That's how he keeps his job.
They're on NBC Sports. Yeah, I mean, the money's coming in for the guys at the top. But the fans, the product, it's all completely suffered. And like you said, I'd be curious to see what Oscar thinks because he goes to bat, I feel like, for the league more than I do. But I'm right now pretty disinterested by the NBA. Obviously, when the playoffs start, I'll be in because that's when the players get interested. So as a fan, that's kind of when I feel like I should be. But it's been a tough product if you're a fan of 12 teams in the league, which is a third of the league. It's crazy.
We need Jackie Moon to step in.
We do.
You know what?
Owner.
If you take a look at it, fellas, and of course you're watching the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection on our Shipyard Sports Connection production and our new alliance. But if you take a look at sports across the board for the common man, between the streaming services, ticket prices, moves like this, they're not a friend of the fan.
Ticket prices, don't get me started on the World Cup. I just secured a singular World Cup ticket, the cheapest one I could find. It was $140. It's in the upper deck in Santa Clara, which is an hour outside of San Francisco. They're calling it the San Francisco venue. It's not. It's an hour away. That's why Levi Stadium is nowhere near downtown San Francisco. The parking, $200 on site. San Francisco and Santa Clara, very easy to get back and forth, very walkable areas. It's outrageous, right. The things FIFA also did a thing. They released a seating chart they said you have a Category 1 ticket, but you don't know where your Category 1 ticket is. They put all of the people that purchased in the initial sales behind the goals, the least valuable seats. Now they're selling at a higher price those Category 1 tickets behind, the touch lines on the sidelines. Those are exponentially higher than the ones that they previously sold, and they've changed the seating map. So if you want to talk about greed in sports, look no further than the FIFA World Cup in the United States. It is exceptionally bad. It's disgusting.
Greed is across the board, I think, in this.
No doubt, but yeah. It's getting worse, and there's absolutely no checks or balances whatsoever.
The good old days when the common family.
Don't reference the good old days. You'll get him way too excited over here.
Yeah, well, when a family could come to a ball game and afford it. Now they have to save up. It has to be an exceptional. I went over on the second game of the Cubs and the Rays with my family. I took a gang of 11, and I was prepared for. It's not sticker shock for me, and I was prepared. But my son, who hasn't been to a lot of them, he had his 3 little guys, and he says, "Pops, you're throwing out a lot of cash here." I go, "It's a once in a lifetime thing, but it's not cheap, regardless."
Well, don't worry. In the month of April, you get $10 free. Thanks, Rays. We appreciate you. Isn't that great? $10 free?
I think it's nice, actually. They don't do stuff like that in Pittsburgh or anywhere else.
Well,
so
if you're at the Colorado Rocky Stadium, it's $5 for a beer year round.
Yeah, because
and you're saying, oh, here's $10 free, $180 to go see a game.
I really had not had an issue with the Rays pricing because they have $10 tickets for this Red Series coming up, and they're going to jack up the prices on the Yankees, but there's going to be demand for the Yankees. And opening day, there's demand. I got a $70 opening day standing room ticket. That's more than I want to pay for a standing room ticket, but it's opening day, and I'm happy to see the ballpark full. And if I got to pay a little extra on opening day, I'm totally fine with that. I paid $20 for seats the next 2 nights with the Rays Rush. Now the Rays Rush is a limited amount, and you got to get in on that, but I still say that's a fair price. $20 to see a baseball game against the Cubs opening week.
I will say that I was pleased, and I'm blessed. I know guys inside there, but I paid $59 for tickets behind the Cubs dugout, second row. Superb tickets, actually. And while I'm on the topic, that poor dude that is all over the internet.
Oh, the full moon.
The full moon guy. I have a different perspective, and Alex and I texted about it, and the kids and I talked about it this morning. I have a different perspective, in all seriousness. That poor human being is doing something he loves. And when people have, enormous weight problems, and this cat does, they probably have a low self-esteem. Can you imagine what that man's going through right now? So I think, and we need to talk to somebody in the Rays, and I got an idea. He needs to get an MVP, most valuable fan, Hustle Award, something for his
Mike, that might be even worse.
I completely disagree with that, Mike. That is a terrible idea. No one's going to remember what that guy looks like in a month. This fades
for
away.
Him. Mail it to him is what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. If you want to mail it to him, that's totally fine. But the way you made it sound, you were going to put his face up there for everyone to see.
No.
Hey, guys, this is the dude that showed his ass on TV.
Yeah, that was bad.
Do you know how much that would mean to him if something came in the mail?
Yeah, I think that's a totally fine thing.
The Hustle Award.
Also, are we rewarding people for not wearing belts or underwear now, though? Like,
I think the underwear went with the.
I think.
Again, you got it.
Work on a belt sponsor.
Got to figure it out. Yeah,
See, that's what we need.
Suspenders.
I will say,
suspenders. Yeah, overalls, anything.
That'll be the stadium giveaway.
That would be beautiful.
Parents suspenders.
Some Rays like the bright blue suspenders. I remember my first year as a bat boy. I made the not top 10, stupid play, but I hope this guy does have a good sense of humor because the internet is ruthless. I was up till 5 o'clock in the morning reading about myself, but the problem
that's where your mistake was.
No, it was fun because I'd go back and forth and people, say I shouldn't be on the field, and I would agree with them. I'm like, yeah, that guy sucks, and then remember it's myself. So if you have a good sense of humor, it's not terrible being on the internet, but hopefully that guy, comes back to
What'd you miss? A grounder? I think you sent that to me.
Easy grounder. Yeah, I texted it to you, and I got sunflower seeds thrown at me, and it was on the not top 10. My family was really, really proud for some reason.
Was it just once?
I was only on the not top 10 one time.
Okay, because there was
a bunch of baseball.
There was a Rays bat boy I remember a few years ago that missed like 2 back to back while I was there, and I was like, oh, that is rough.
Yeah, that wasn't me. I know who that was.
Yeah.
That wasn't me, though.
Do they keep stats on that? Like, you guys get your own baseball
Yeah, do you guys
card?
have metrics?
Yeah.
I'm sure
What's your
some
fielding
teams do.
percentage?
Yeah.
I mean, I had
Better than the Rays this season, I'm
Believe it or
sure.
not, I had a glove deal with Wilson.
Wow.
Are
You
you
did?
serious?
Yeah, every spring training they would come and give me new gloves that I would wear on TV.
You get like an A2000, A2K?
Bro, I got all these like the best gloves you could get. I've
No
got A2Ks,
way.
A2000s, like different colors, different like third base, shortstop gloves. So
No
yeah, I mean,
way.
I must have been pretty good because I got to deal with Wilson. Shout out to Wilson.
Did you you really did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
Hey, we're brought to you by OnePriceSwipes.com. Oh, THC infused beverage, Ice Pick Vodka. Hey, by the way, Ice Pick Vodka, I found this out today from Fred as we launched this Shipyard Sports Connection concept in the New England area as well as all of Florida, and we'll be moving into Kansas and Texas. And you can have Ice Pick Vodka mailed to you in all 48 states. How cool is that?
Nice.
I didn't realize you could do that in the world of alcohol. And down here now, we also, Shipyard is on draft. And Shipyard, as I mentioned, established in 1992. It's a global brand. And Pumpkinhead is their hot seller during the fall. And Blue Paw right now. Took the gang down there. If you haven't been to Sea Dogs down in the water, go on down there. A great sponsor of us for On the Tee, Florida. And just a great place to have a bite to eat. But I bought all the adults in the house, all my kids, a Blue Paw with blueberries. It's superb.
That
Tasty.
sounds pretty good.
I've had it. It's good.
It is good. It is, yeah, you've had it when we did the show down there on Big Mondays. All right, so we talked about some of the entertaining issues of opening day. Let's talk about opening day. You were there.
Yeah.
And let's talk about last night. Let's talk a little serious baseball. And my God, I want you guys to break down what in the hell is wrong with this defense of
You
the
got
Rays.
Taylor
Is this
Wall's
the
back.
least Rays feeling team ever?
We're hitting the ball and we can't feel
Yeah,
it.
like, and we have like
starting a season
a
out. It
power
is.
bat in the middle of the lineup too, arguably, if you want to say
Yeah.
Aranda, and nobody, and we're not swiping enough bags. I feel like for how much
No.
speed is on this team. Like,
Chandler Simpson, he is a little
but
bit.
how many does he have? I think he has
I-
two.
No, he has at least
Okay, because
four.
he had one game where he had like a second steal and third, and then
Yeah.
he stole
Well,
second,
and
but
that
then he got
last
thrown
night you
out.
saw him beat that out. Oh my God, that guy.
Oh yeah, I mean that's his game. And finally, we're getting Chandler in the leadoff spot. Is that an insane concept to put your fastest,
happened
best
last
contact
year.
hitter? I mean, I know the Rays love their analytics, but it kind of feels like common knowledge. You want a leadoff hitter who can set the table and get on base. And I mean, I play MLB The Show. He's an easy leadoff hitter. The second you get him on, you can get him to third. You get a sacrifice
Yeah.
fly. You get a run in easily. So if we have a guy like Yandy hitting in the middle of the order the way he's been hitting, which if he's putting the ball in the air, he's a 30 home run guy with the power and the strength he has. Obviously, that's not his game. He just wants to put the ball in play. But he's looked phenomenal.
Home run
Junior-
last night.
Huge home run last
Yeah.
night, because when we went down 2-0 last night, I was nervous. Like, and I that's no discredit to our pitching with Steven Matz, who's been phenomenal. All of the rotation has looked great.
I think he only let up one hit the remainder of the
Correct.
game.
He did kind of the same, I think, in the Twins start. He got a little touched up at the start, but then cruised after that. So I'm very excited by the way the Rays have looked pitching from the starting rotation. The bullpen, I think it'll get better. Uceda and Manny, they'll be back soon enough. Griffin Jacks cannot be as bad as he's looked. Like, he will get back. He came in the sixth last night.
He let up
and
what, like two guys on, and then managed to.
He got out of it unscathed, I think. So there's a lot of things about this Rays team that don't make you feel good. But like Mike said, they're third place right now.
Yeah.
There's a hodgepodge of 6 and 7 between the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Yep. And then the Red Sox. How old are you? Like, pick a lane, dude. You can't be doing 6,
I
7.
work at a high school.
and-
We got him coming on later. I got to get used to it.
Too bad it's not September, right?
Yeah, no, because I think we still would not be in a playoff spot right now. But okay, so we'll talk about opening day. But like, your initial thoughts on the Rays season, because I would say the record they have is not ideal given the fact they played the Cardinals, who have been surprisingly good out of the gate. I give them a lot of credit. They may be better than a lot of people gave them credit for. And I also couldn't understand.
And I thought the Cubs would be better than they are.
The Cubs, I mean, did you watch that Pirates game yesterday?
Yeah.
They had a no-hitter going through 6 innings by a guy who has a .26 ERA. He's only given up a single solo shot to Tommy Pham once in his career. That's Shoto. And then they come in, give up a home run to B-Ray, Brian Reynolds of the Pirates. It was the only ball that could get out of the park yesterday because it was a cold, gray, windy Midwest day in Chicago yesterday. And then they give up, they get no hits or runs the rest of the way after that. The Cubs have offense. They showed it against some questionable pitchers for the Rays in those last 2 games, but the Cubs have offense.
The game I was at.
Yeah, they got Pete Crow Armstrong. They got Alex Bregman. They've got actually some good contributions from the bottom of their order. The question is, though, do they have the rotation? Because they've lost multiple pitchers already to start this season. Matthew Boyd, Cade Horton, who could have been their ace, is done for the year. Probably going to have Tommy John or at least some sort of brace on his right throwing shoulder. They already knew Justin Steele was going to be out, so they've already had to tap some of the guys that they weren't relying upon. The Cubs are in a bit of a weird spot. And the NL Central's actually looked a lot more competitive than I thought it would. The Pirates have looked really good. The Reds, we know their offense is going to be a little bit thin, but they play in an advantageous ballpark, and their rotation's strong.
Contender or pretender, the Reds?
I would say pretender if we're saying definitive playoff team, but can they hang in the bubble as much as the Pirates? Absolutely. I think the Brewers are still the team to be in that division because they had that dark magic that somehow gets them to 90 wins every year, even despite them losing guys like Corbin Burns and, Chiriot starts on the IL. They don't necessarily have these top-end players, but, man, do they play good Brewers baseball. Their bullpen, actually.
Every year.
Their bullpen, I don't know if you saw the game last night, horrendous time for Trevor McGill. He tried to field a bunt, couldn't get it. Tried to field another bunt, tried to throw the guy out home plate. Completely missed his catcher. Then another bunt. He got triple bunted, and they ended up losing 7-3. So tough outing for Trevor
What do you think
McGill.
teams are going to do against him the rest of the season?
Small ball.
Yeah.
Small ball on him. But
that gets
but
me so excited.
I know that does.
I love the bunt.
The Rays have not had the bunt. Again, that's what
He's
going
getting
back to the
moisty-eyed.
conversation.
Well, Alex, to your point
Not a
about
Rays
is
team.
an opposite different Rays team that we're used to seeing, could it be that they're flip-flopped because there have been 20,000 people in the stadium every night?
That
There
is.
haven't
that
been
is-
20,000 Rays fans.
yeah, that's the
no,
problem.
but still, the people there. I mean, if you have a crowd, I'm more excited to go out and do a better job if I've got people watching me. If it's just Ben and I,
You're
sitting there
an
playing catch.
entertainer. You're a
Well,
comedian.
yeah.
You're a showman.
I've got that special skill, but I think that could be a factor. I mean, that if we can continue to get fans in the stadium all season long, maybe they won't be so nervous playing defense, and they can still go out and hit the homers and throw some pit.
They played horrible defense in Minnesota
They
and
said
St.
they've been
Louis,
playing bad
and there were
everywhere.
not a
I'm
lot of
just trying to
fans.
be
Yeah,
optimistic.
I don't think the fans are making them scared. I think they've just played sloppy baseball, which is not what you want to see. I mean, like you said, Taylor Walls, I saw leads the league in defensive runs saved since 2022 as an error right off the bat yesterday, leads to a run out of the gate. And then they get a pop fly, get a run in. They're down 2-0 early to start in that game. And you're
That
like,
was a horrible play.
what is happening? Yeah, Chandler, that
Oh
was
my
brutal. I mean,
Yeah, misplaying it off the wall.
it was
No.
no,
Or
he
what?
slipped
Oh,
and
he slipped, that's
went
right.
right behind him, gets a triple
Yeah.
off the bat for Ahmed Rosario, the former Ray. Look, they won last night, and so we sound way too negative for a team that just
Yeah, good
beat
point,
the
good
first
point.
place Yankees. And I'm because again, when they went down 2-0, they have 2 errors off the bat. I'm like, oh my god. I think actually they didn't give an error to Chandler on that, which is crazy baseball scorekeeping.
He gave him a triple.
I know they gave him a triple, but
Oh my
he technically didn't misplay the ball. He just slipped before he got there. So I guess that counts as a hit. But no, I think we need to look at the Rays as what they are. We knew this team is not a 100-win team. They're probably going to struggle. I think
Agreed.
the defense will get better. I think the bullpen will get better. And I think the offense will come back down to earth a little bit. But if guys like Yanni Diaz are hitting the ball the way they are, this team still has enough pop to get them into games. And I think if we have guys in the rotation throwing this well, though, we will be in games for a while. I mean, the bullpen's going to be agonizing if they continue on this route. But who's the weakest guy in our starting rotation right now? Is it Shane? And a guy that he's just struggling with walks, but he's had that high upside. I mean, he threw 4 innings against Milwaukee.
Haven't pitched for 3 years.
Yeah, and
that's
he's looked
kinda-
good. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying for what he's been thus far
sure.
hasn't been great, but he's I mean, you see his post-game comments. He wants to be better. He's like, I do not want to go out there and throw walks. That's not me competing. That's BS. He has looked like a guy that can get back to his old self, which we
Work in
didn't know.
progress.
We didn't know. Yeah, I mean, the guy hadn't pitched for 2 years. Him and the Trop were gone for as long as each
Yeah.
other, So it's great to see him back. But you look at Matz, you look at Nick Martinez, you're going to get Ryan Pepio back, who I would make a case for as our best starting pitcher. We lost Rasmussen. Congrats to him and his wife on their kid. We could have used him on Wednesday against the Cubs, but
Yeah.
that rotation is.
And that was a last-second decision that he wasn't going to play.
Yeah, I mean, well, when the baby comes, you got to go.
got no
Nature
option.
called.
No
But,
But you got a baseball game.
You're going to be a great.
He's Koufaxing
You're going to be a
us.
great husband.
But no, I think the strength of the team we kind of knew would probably be the pitching staff, and the rotation has exceeded even pretty high estimations for myself, and especially once you get Pepio back in there, that's going to be exciting. The offense hasn't looked great at the bottom half of the order, but guys like Nick Fortes have hit the ball pretty well. Johnny DeLuca's looked pretty solid there. Chandler's been in the bottom half of the order, and he's been on base a lot. So I'm pretty optimistic from what I've seen, given the fact the defense is literally the worst in baseball. They have the lowest fielding percentage in all of baseball. Where are you guys at outside of the defense? Because I'd say the team is playing pretty well, and if you can take 2 or 3 against the Yankees, I think that restores a lot of faith and eases a lot of people early on.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if they can just play solid baseball, because they do have good pieces. You made a good point, and I think, yes, Yandy Diaz is like the leader of that, and now he's the clubhouse leader as well. And Jonathan Aranda, I've said it since day one, I think he's going to have a huge season, but if we can have the Chandlers and we can have these other pieces just do your job, they could be dangerous.
Yeah. No, I'm very thrilled with how the hitting's going. Like, I'm blown away. You know me, I've always been requesting and praying for better bats.
Most runs scored in the American League East right now. 60 runs.
That's
The
spectacular.
Rays. Would you have ever guessed that? Yeah, through 13 games, but they have 60 runs. The next closest is the Yankees at 57, and we have the Red Sox at 46. Would you have expected that?
Hell no.
Absolutely not. But that's why I was so surprised that Cash moved the lineup around like he did. And now he said
We need
it's
to,
not,
though.
No,
because
we do.
We can't have Chandler batting 6th or 5th, or 3rd. What is that?
Yeah.
It was just so obvious last year.
They moved him into the leadoff position, which is great, with Junior Caminero right behind him, and they're pitching around Junior. Like,
they need protection. Junior needs protection, or he's going to get walked every time because Nick Fortes is behind him or somebody, And no disrespect to Nick Fortes, who's swung a pretty good bat early on. I like him in Fiducia. It kind of feels like we have a little bit of depth at the catcher position for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just overly optimistic because we sat through the Alex Jackson years, but I'm still pretty content with everyone on the field. It's just the offense has to be better, the fielding has to be better. The defense, excuse me, it has to be better because we're in these games 0-0, 6th inning. I think that was what the score was, like 1-1, something like that in the 5th or 6th against the Cubs on Wednesday. And then we have this huge, massive blow-up inning because our fielding is terrible. And that's just mind-numbing. And I'm sure the players themselves think that way too,
I know at least for the pitching slot, having depth at the catching position is great because a lot of pitchers we get really nitpicky on who's catching us. We're a funky bunch. I'm not gonna
crazy,
try, but it's good to have that depth
You're the
of the
poster
position.
child for the funky bunch.
Throwing it back again.
Maybe Parliament. Yeah, I like Parliament. A little Ohio players.
Oh my God, you're showing your age.
Hey, I was talking Suicide Boys earlier.
No, thanks.
Wow.
I got a wide depth at the music slots
Your music,
there.
your music tastes are all over the place. I'll give you that.
Just like my takes on everything.
Well, the only thing I'll say about the defense is there's probably going to be a lot of early work before games over there for the Rays. A lot of fielding practice over there.
Did you see that over the years?
Oh, yeah. And it sucks. People are there at like 10 o'clock in the morning. You're like, why are you here right now? They're because we suck at defense.
Well, they certainly do. Taylor Walls needs to get out there and practice a lot more. I mean, he's a good guy. I knew one of the guys who grew up with him. Super nice, very friendly, and I know last season or the season before.
Nice guys finish last, pal.
Well, I get that, but I know the season before, people were getting on him, and he was actually coming after fans, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, he had a couple exchanges on Twitter, but look, Taylor Walls, we all know what he is. I think I saw
keyboard warrior.
His worst batting average of any player over the last 10 seasons. Him and like Austin Hedges are batting at like 195. It's something. Again, the guy's been a major leaguer for the Rays for 6 years almost now.
Sure.
I mean, him and Yandy are the only 2 guys left standing from that World Series on the offensive side. We know exactly what we're getting from him. Like I said, he's led all shortstops in defensive runs saved. The Rays value that. It's insane that we're talking about how good the offense has been, how bad the defense has been, because Eric Neander preached all offseason this is going to be a defensive run saved team. We're looking to get back to our roots where we play defense, we win games 2-1 because our pitching staff looks good and our defense keeps guys from scoring runs throughout the game. That has not been the case. I think it's a 162-game season. We'll revert back to the mean at some point. But so far, if you told me we went on a 9-game road schedule to start off the season. Went 4-5. Not great, but I'd take it. I'll
Yeah,
take it.
yeah,
It
not
was
bad.
cold. It was weird.
Beat the Yankees.
I would have definitely
game?
preferred. Well, not the road series, and then
Yeah.
you start with the Yankees. You got to win that game. 2 out of 3 against the Cubs is disappointing. I don't want to lose 2 out of 3 against the Cubs. But if you win 2 out of 3 against the Yankees, I probably would. That's a trade-off because I would have expected us to lose maybe 2 out of 3 against the Yankees because
And that puts butts in the seats because there's more optimism.
exactly. And I think the team, they've done a great job with the marketing. We got the summer concert series coming back. I'm not much of a country guy, but I'm excited that the concert series is coming back. They've had a great number of promos announced for the season, the bobbleheads, the trop, the mini trop. Like, I think butts will be in the seats this year. I think people are nostalgic about the Rays. The team just got to perform because if the team doesn't perform, then, butts won't be in the seats probably.
You're listening to the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection and watching on YouTube, our YouTube channel. Of course, now we're forming an alliance with the Shipyard Sports Connection production, and you'll be seeing a lot more content on Instagram. The guys are doing a superb job. We're going to be adding some fresh new faces to our world as well as we move forward in 2026. Do you have time to talk a little Masters chat?
I don't have much to contribute. I've honestly been grinding the tape on the baseball. I can tell you about
Let's go back to
the
baseball.
The
We'll go back to
Angels.
baseball. Go back to baseball.
No, I mean, shout out Rory. That's all I got for you. I
Yeah,
love
that-
Rory McIlroy. And
I've got a 10-minute
about
segment
DeChambeau?
at the end.
then, yeah.
He felt. I thought he was going to be.
Well, he had
more
his
of a-
his 3D printed 5-wood or whatever that was. So
What the heck?
Anyway,
what was it?
For those of you that aren't familiar with Bryson DeChambeau, he's let's just say he's a unique man. Very brilliant, went to SMU, and he is basically building his own clubs using 3D technology, which my grandson's doing it to build stuff at home. But
Is he still a PXG guy?
I
For the
think-
clubs?
I think he is doing PXG, but these are just for his unique unique determination of where his game is that week, and he'll go on, whether it's in a hotel room and he's somewhere in the world, he's with LIV, and he makes these clubs, and it's almost been during his press conference yesterday. He hasn't played well. They missed the cut, by the way.
Yeah.
They asked him about it, and they kept hitting upon that point. Did you make that club that caused that issue? I mean, it was a little touchy in the press conference.
yeah, my other Masters comment, my roommate, he has a ability to go to the Masters every year as like a PGA of America.
What?
Yeah, he never uses it, but this year his parents got tickets. He drove Friday night it's Saturday today. He drove Thursday night into Friday from here to Augusta, got there by 6:30 in the morning, went in, got to meet his parents, was there all day. I found he was back last night. He drove all the way to Augusta and all the way back in a 24-hour period, and he was on site yesterday. I believe he secured one of the gnomes as well. So good
Did
for
he
him.
get a pimento sandwich at least?
Of course. I'm sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Pimento
You need that for the ride back.
Yeah, exactly. He probably stocked up.
We're going to talk 10 minutes with John Rager from On the Tee, Florida, in the last part of the show. So as you look at baseball as a whole right now, and Ray Kennedy alluded it to with Oresti Estrada during the great production, great job what you guys did on Monday out here for 4-hour production for the home opener, and he talked about the state of baseball, and then I take a look at the standings, and I like to use and stole it, contenders or pretenders, but if you look at the NL, Atlanta's in the lead in the East. Cincinnati, that's why I asked in the Central, and of course you said Milwaukee's always consistent. No surprise, Dodgers in the West. Any people that are on top right now that you think are pretenders in the AL and the National
Well,
League?
St. Louis is leading the NL Central right now. I don't think that's going to continue. I just don't think they have the depth in their pitching staff. I don't think they have the bats in their lineup, but they certainly look like a lot more competitive team than a lot of people thought. And I mentioned earlier, I'm surprised that a lot of people were so down on the Cardinals because they are a franchise that doesn't usually have major rebuilds. They're not a Rockies or
They're
Marlins.
they're like Milwaukee.
And their fans are some of the best in all of baseball.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's your Cubs. I'm sure they don't
No,
appreciate that.
I love it.
Is there a rivalry for the Cubs? I know they hate the Brewers, but do they hate the Cardinals too?
Yeah.
Oh,
As
yeah.
much?
Like back
oh,
in the Sammy Sosa, Mark
more
McGwire days.
Yeah.
more than Milwaukee.
Really?
Absolutely.
That surprises
As
me.
an example,
Given the Green Bay hate, I thought that would kind of carry over. Bears, Packers.
The state of Iowa. Obviously, we don't have a professional team, so it's Southern Iowa St. Louis Cardinal fans. The rest of the state, Cubs fans.
Fun thing we talked about at the top of the show about how difficult it is to stream sports as a fan. I saw like Iowa, some of those people, they get frozen out of the markets because of their location on MLB TV. So because they're considered to be in Milwaukee's market, but then they're not close enough to be in Milwaukee's market to pick up the TV channel. So they don't get anything. And then I think now, because MLB TV has acquired like 9 of the team's broadcast rights, including the Rays, they're also blacked out of all of those because they're not considered to be in any of those markets. So in the modern age, that is a massive regions of states like Iowa.
We got 3.3 million, but there's a lot of avid baseball fans.
Yeah,
you know,
you can't have that.
We got a AAA team in Des Moines, and that's the Iowa Cubs. But yeah, that's a tragedy.
It's ridiculous. I was in Savannah, Georgia, and I remember I was watching MLB TV. I was trying to watch a Rays game. I couldn't watch the Rays, and my buddy, who was a what was he? He was a Braves fan. He couldn't watch the Braves, and we're both sitting in Savannah, Georgia. I'm a state away. He's 6 hours away, and neither one of us can watch our team, and neither one of them was on the bar TV. It's ridiculous how they expect fans to be able to watch their teams. It's impossible.
And baseball is having a very strong moment. Like we said, they have a lot of
That's where it's
momentum
gonna go.
from the WBC. They have a lot of momentum from just the league having such a great World Series last year. Game 7.
People
you have an
like you are
international
dumping
team.
the NBA.
Yeah, well, I didn't say I was dumping it. Let's settle down there. Pump the
But
brakes.
Major League Baseball
Right
is
now, watch it.
capitalizing
I
on
did
it.
see a tweet that said right now baseball is considered to be more popular than NBA basketball
For the first time in
fans.
decades.
Yeah, and they're gonna blow all that up next year with the labor stoppage, and people are gonna go right back to the NBA, and
That's
it's gonna
what I
be
was gonna say.
a flip flop. Yeah, and we all know what's coming. But right now, baseball is having. That's the thing. Every time when baseball gets some momentum, they blow it all up in their own way. And I think Kirkjian was just on 95.7 the other day, and he was like, the conversations I've had, they're not good. We are not getting a deal done.
We're heading down to that
anytime
deep
soon.
dive.
I mean,
Correct.
I've been hearing that since I worked there, and I left after 2023. And I mean, it does suck. I mean, as a baseball fan, but also a former employee, it's disheartening that baseball is doing so well right now. It's so hot. It's a conversation. I mean, look, we were here at Fergs the other day. It was huge, and people are talking baseball. And it's very unfortunate that most likely that's what's going to happen next year is we won't see baseball, at least for the
Fellas,
start.
we got to switch gears because we're going to go live up to Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Oh. Cool.
On last night.
Here we go. Hey, fellas, can you hear me? Hi, guys. I was hearing you before. I can't hear you currently, but
Bobby, right now we can't. We're having a little.
We're in
audio
business.
issue, but
no, I think I got you back now.
It's got a record for was it threes last night?
I didn't even see that.
You didn't even care.
The B guys coming off the bench, just shooting threes.
But he's going to the Lightning and Bruins game at 12:30 puck drop. Hopefully we can get this audio issue resolved. This cat's going to be tough, and he's very sports savvy, passionate. I could tell that, and he's been a lifelong Bruins fan. They've had a tough season, but if they win today against the Bolts, they're in the playoffs. I believe that.
That's right.
I believe,
That's
Bobby,
right.
nod your head. If they win today,
That's correct.
they're in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, I think a winner or a tie. I just looked up the AI, and we've got a 98% chance of making the playoffs. So
I think he still has audio. Unfortunately, we're having some technical difficulties.
you can't hear my audio.
Little wired headphones.
I thought you were a big hockey guy.
I'm from Pittsburgh, so I grew up with Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. I would still call it, in the American sports hierarchy where most people do, fourth behind football and basketball and baseball. But it's been a fun year as a hockey fan for the Penguins. They were expected to either playoffs or sell off the entire team and maybe rebuild. Our GM has done a fantastic job of getting this team back into the playoffs. They look like a potential contender if they can avoid the Hurricanes for as long as possible. I think they could take down the Lightning. I think they have plenty of teams in the East that are just as talented as they are. So I'm pretty excited for where the Penguins are sitting. And the Lightning, they've shown their cracks down the stretch. Victor Hedman's been out of the lineup. He's had some outside of hockey concerns. They obviously have great goaltending, and that's going to be the biggest thing. I don't know if the Penguins have the goaltending to keep them into a deep playoff run, but I think the Hurricanes, they look poised to come out of the East. If they don't, I would not be surprised, though, because that's kind of the nature of hockey. And I don't know a ton about Western hockey. I feel about you guys probably don't know a ton about Western hockey as well. I know that the Pacific is abysmal right now, and the second wild card and the first wild card in the West is significantly easier to achieve than the East right now.
I mean, my hockey take is I'm surprised you and I can sit next to each other every week because I grew up in Detroit. But
that's a long, a rivalry we grew up with, but it hasn't really been anything for the past 20 years,
not lately, But honestly, then I worked for the Pirates for about 6 spring trainings, and I've been to Pittsburgh, and it's such a great sports city. So I will say that. And how long is Sidney Crosby going to play hockey? Oh, my God.
38 years old. Hasn't looked like he's lost a step,
He seems like he's been here for 38 years playing.
He's Sid the Kid, he came in the league in his 20s. We had young talent, him and Gino and Letang. I think I saw they have the highest playoff percentage, making it to the playoffs of any two guys since they've been in the league. I mean, I have been blessed as a hockey fan that, doesn't even truly love the game the way I'm a baseball or basketball guy, but it's been fun to have a team to root for throughout my entire life that's been competitive. That's what's made the last 3 years pretty difficult to make the playoffs. And they made so many great acquisitions over this offseason that I've been shocked how well they've worked out. And they changed their coach, which, we had a guy in Mike Johnson who won back-to-back cups. It's always tough to let go of a coach that's gotten you to that mountaintop twice. And they needed a change in the locker room. They needed a guy who they could listen to, and they got that with Dan Muse. So I'm pretty excited where they're at. I think the Red Wings, they've not finished the season strong enough. They might be on the outside looking in here for the playoffs. And it could set up well for the Flyers, who got hot. That could be the round 1 matchup for the Penguins, and that is a massive rivalry. I would have to probably
in-state like that?
Have to get to that one because there used to be some bad blood between those teams.
I was just going to ask you, how crazy the Eagle fans are. How about the Flyer fans?
Well, the Flyers fans, I don't really know too many of them because, I went to Penn State. I grew up going to see and meet a lot of Eagles, 76ers, Phillies fans. The Flyers have been pretty extinct for the past decade. I mean, my former roommate was a huge hockey guy, but I barely hear him talk about the Flyers because they haven't been very good lately. So if they make the playoffs, they don't have a ton of postseason experience on this team, which I would say plays to the Penguins' strength. And the Penguins obviously have the home ice advantage, but when you get a rivalry matchup like that going and fans who are starved, I think both of those franchises who haven't been in the playoffs for a number of years, it'll create a really fun first-round matchup. That probably could be one of the best first-round matchups we have. But the Lightning could end up in Montreal. Montreal's come on strong lately. Buffalo, a young upstart team that I don't think a lot of people expected to be in the postseason as quickly as they have gotten there. The East is significantly more interesting to me than the West because there's just so much strength at the top in the West with the Avs being so good. Some crazy mid-season coaching firings, though. I saw the Islanders and the Vegas Golden Knights both fired their coaches like within the past 3 weeks in playoff spots. You'd never see that in any other sport. So it's been a pretty interesting, compelling time if you're a hockey fan, seeing these teams who see themselves as playoff contenders going for change. I mean, the great Patrick Waugh out in New York. That's pretty shocking. John Tortorella in Vegas. So those are some big names if you're a hockey guy. So I'm for the postseason. I'm going to raise Pirates next weekend because, of course, Penguins should have a home game as well for round 1 next weekend. So I'm very excited for a very Pittsburgh sports weekend. I will be repping the Rays, though.
I got to ask you, though, for all your traveling, are you just racking up sky miles? Or are you flying everywhere? Are you doing road trips? How do you get these things
done?
done?
With the gas prices, you can't do road trips. Also, you're in the state of Florida. Unless you go to Miami, there's not much else to go.
Alex, you could we dropped the topic on, and you can carry it. Thanks for helping us through that process. We're efforting, and we're going to get this figured out. Bobby Labby, he's the GM up there, of course, in Camden. Sea Dogs, he's outside the TD Arena right now. Unfortunately, we'll have some audio issues. He was going to break down the Lightning and the Bruins. Very important game for him. But we've got Wyatt Ross. And Wyatt, how are you, my man?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing over there?
Well, at least Bobby doesn't think it was all about him because he's a Bruins fan. We can't even break down the Lightning right now with Wyatt Ross. We're having some audio issues there, and he was going to break down and talk about his trip to ESPN. We'll have to bring you in the studio, buddy. Well, we can't.
Well.
We
Hey,
can't
well, thanks for having me. If you guys can hear me,
Oh, yeah, we were hearing him on those speakers. You want
You guys can't hear
we're
me
back
now?
in.
to over there? Just hold it up to the speaker. All right. Well, a little technical difficulties. It
All
happens
right.
from time to time. But, Mike, I like the shirt today. Very bright.
It wakes you up.
Certainly does. I was a little bit tired this morning and
Well, I got a part-time job working out on the highways.
directing cars.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go to work for the Pinellas County school systems at the Crosswalks. Crosswalks.
There you go. Not too shabby.
Well, we got two hockey guys. We need to get this figured out. I've got Wyatt Ross, who I know Bobby would enjoy this conversation. And,
Sure.
It's critical for the Bruins to beat your Lightning tonight, and
And I
Can you
think
guys
that's
hear
the
me
game
now?
plan today.
to the playoffs.
So obviously, I'm not a huge hockey guy myself, but
You got the Lightning hat
I've
on
got
today.
the Lightning hat, and I will say that I've never been to a Lightning game until 2021. I went with a buddy
Really?
of mine. That's the best sporting experience I've ever been a part of.
You like the lightning getting shot across the
It
state?
was
They got the little Tesla
fantastic.
coil up
And
there.
then-
It's sweet.
So it's all going on, and then all of a sudden the game starts.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. Like they're doing national anthem, and then next thing you know, the game's going on. I thought it was so impressed by the Lightning game. I don't know if that's that way with all NHL games.
All that talent waiting for us to break down hockey, and I'm not.
And it's still not. Yeah, and you guys still can't hear me.
Pull them in.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great growing up as a Lightning fan. Though.
All
I
right.
will say that,
Wow,
born and
man.
raised here. You got 2004, they win the Stanley Cup, and then they'd go back to back and win in the Stanley Cup again in the 2020s. It just absolutely spectacular seeing the Lightning perform the way that they have. It's awesome to be a Lightning fan, especially now. I mean, there's so many people moving down from the Northeast, and I think that might kind of help. A little bit of how many people are showing up to these games because, it's mainly a northern thing, and I love to see how well hockey's done down here in the South.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you go anywhere, you see people with Lightning hats and
Oh, yeah.
Lightning T-shirts. It's definitely a big fan. I was very surprised when I moved from Michigan that Lightning was as big as they are down
Anybody
here.
that moves down here from the north is surprised how hockey is
Yeah.
as popular as it is.
There's almost sometimes more Lightning fans than Buccaneer fans. I see, just walking around St. Pete, Tampa, wherever you may be. Lightning is probably the number one.
Wyatt, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, he
But
can
we
hear me.
can't hear him.
We just can't hear. I was just testing, making sure he'll be critiquing your analysis of hockey.
Hey, the puck slides on the ice. It's black. There's a blue line. You can't cross it without
That's
doing
why
this,
we
that,
have
and the other.
Wyatt Ross, and he got his scholarship to. I'll brag about you for a little bit, buddy. He got their scholarship to Syracuse, and then of course that probably is opening a lot of doors. And he got to go to ESPN and do a little internship behind the scenes. That had to have been the thrill of a lifetime for a young man like you that's aspiring to get that level eventually in your life. And bravo. Remember us when we tried to get an interview for him, as you're the ice. Do they have on the ice? Just nod. Do they have on the ice reporters?
They're bench.
No.
Well, you can be breaking ground. He'll be out there getting his ass
I
kicked.
think they do it from where the
penalty
team
box
sits, right?
Penalty box.
Or right next. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. I love
That'd
going
be
to a
fun.
hockey game.
How about this for technology? He's
Head nods?
listening, and then head nods. Hey, go get a piece of paper and start writing answers down so we can. Anyway, got to have a little humor when you're running into issues like this. Wyatt, I feel bad. I'm sure you had plenty of preparation. I know we were looking forward to the conversation with Bobby Labby. That cat knows more about sports, but he you can tell he's from the Northeast. All Bruins, Patriots, went to the used to be the Garden, but
Yeah.
went to see the Celtics last night, just as my son had. And Fred Forsley, across the street, is a good friend of his, and that, of course, is Billy Fairweather with the greatest sports bar. That's the name of the place.
Well, this
I
place
think
gives it a run for its money, Mike.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. We're at Fergs, and that's America's number
Number one.
sports bar in America. And I'll tell you what, and it proved it on opening day. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
You guys
People-
did a superb job. by the
It
way.
was a great time. I loved it.
Well, people got here. We started the show at noon. People were already here. It was packed when we started the show.
I came down and set up between 8:30 and 9, and people were starting to even trickle in then.
Yeah, it was special, and I will say, just from like being here all day long, we hung out a little bit afterwards, had some Cuban sandwiches. Fergs has fantastic Cubans.
Didn't Ron DeSantis show up?
Yeah, he was here with Brett.
Afterwards,
it was
the
Ken
governor.
Babbitt.
Ron DeSantis was out back with
Yeah.
the ownership from the Rays.
Yep.
Bought everybody a beer again.
Yeah, Brett
Yeah.
Phillips was here too. I texted him. I was like, "Oh, I see why you didn't."
Brett
do the show
Phillips
today."
is instrumental in a lot of that. I talked to Mark Ferguson the next day when I came with my gang, and we went over. And, there was 11 of us, and Mark and I started visiting about family and baseball. And I'll be honest with you guys, I almost got emotional. It was the time of my life with my gang because my children grew up in the Cubs organization, and there's my 4 grandkids, and they had their T-shirts on. And they're screaming, "Go Cubs, go!" And even the Rays people in our section were having a great time and took pictures and absolute blast. And that's what baseball is about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Baseball's been great. I think Brett Phillips is an amazing addition to the Rays organization. He brings this sense of community, this positive vibe that for so long, and I mean,
he's just telling
I'm
the
guilty
ownership
of it too.
He
Yeah.
tells them, "You just need to go over to Fergs."
Yeah.
And he's going to start coming on here. I think I told you
Yeah.
on Saturdays when they have games in the future.
He's a great guy. I love seeing him here, and the crowd, the support from St. Petersburg was amazing for opening day. I had to park in some neighborhoods way out that way. Hopped on my little bicycle and I rode the bike all the way over here. I'm trying to fight through the
What
crowds.
do you do? You put your bike in your car?
Yeah, the bike's sitting in the back seat of my car right now, Mike. I'm ready to ride down to the pier after this. You kidding me? Got to get the exercise in.
And as far as like the connection in the 4-hour broadcast that we did, Ray and I were hanging out watching the Michigan game, but also walking around, just being a part of the atmosphere, which was really fun. We had multiple people stop us and say, "Hey, we saw you guys on the live stream. Like, we listened to what you guys had to say, and we like it." And so the first time that happened, I was like, "Ray, how do you know those guys?" He's like, "I don't know. I thought you knew them." So we have people tuning in. Thank you guys so much. We love putting out content for you, but thank you means a lot when you do watch.
Let me tell you another thing. For all you people that like to watch podcasts, the Pinellas podcast, have you ever seen
Yeah,
it?
they were two down
Yeah,
from us.
Well, I got here at 9, and in a short hour, I got a lot negotiated and conversation. I felt great about it. My sons came down to help set up, and Coca-Cola Body Armor's here, the key people, and took some pictures, and we're moving forward with this agreement. I won't throw this one like I did a couple weeks ago, but Body Armor's going to be loud and proud in our world. And then I went over and talked to those guys, and I said, "You know what we need to do?" I said, "You guys are talking, I know you talk a lot of restaurants and bar reviews, and I love them, and other topics, but you've also touched upon some sports complexes and little leagues." I said, "How about we do high school?"
Oh, that'd be great.
And they said, "We've been talking about it." And I said, "Let's just do it." So this coming week, we're going to meet at Sea Dogs, have lunch, and we're going to talk about how we can align it, because he's got I don't know how many followers. Hey, look up how many Pinella's podcasts, how many followers he has. I mean, he's got an enormous number of followers.
Yeah.
And we're going to get our two entities together, and that's what it's all about, is providing that kind of content. And it's pretty cool when people know who we are, and
Yeah. Oh, that was really
and that
special.
will help.
Well, you were talking about facilities and everything, Mike. Did you see the Rays memorandum that they came out with to the city of Tampa?
You know what? That thing's so confusing. Nobody's going to vote for it, and they're not going to get any money for it.
Well, what the breakdown is, it sounds like the public contribution would include $750 million from Hillsborough County, $251 million from the city of Tampa, and $64 million from additional public sources. And then the Rays are going to commit $1.235 billion with a B dollars for the new stadium in Tampa. Now, what money have they actually raised? Where are these funds coming from? None of that makes any sense. I know that the Rays, they're coming to this agreement of understanding, whatever you want to call it, but it's still a pipe dream. It's not real.
And a vote in May that'll get pushed out. You're not going to see the old great lady's going to have a good 4-year run over here.
I think
Easy.
they're going to be there for 7 more years. If I'm being 100% honest with you, because first of all, it takes a couple years to raise some funds, so that's going to take some time. Then you're going to need to find a location.
3.5 years to build it.
Yeah,
Right.
it's going to take years to build it. On top of getting the permits, getting the location, bulldoze, all these factors are going to slow it down. They're going to have to get an extension with the city of St. Petersburg.
Or do something like the A's have done. But Panilla's podcast,
Please don't.
just about 15,000 followers right now on Instagram.
15,000 followers. Well, we're getting there.
And they were super nice guys, too. We went over and talked to them as well before the show, and they were really cool to talk to. I've actually seen their podcast on Instagram. They pop up on my feed every now and again.
Yeah, I've seen it pop up. Even some of my students talk about it. They bring it up, and I know some of the kids are already waiting out there. We got some thirsty Warhawks that are going to be loving the body armor right here. They're going to love that.
Well, the track team, I believe the track team's coming to visit us.
Yeah, I saw Coach Barnes out there, and I saw Indian Rocks out there as well. So we got a good bunch of guys out there.
Hey, we haven't commented about over your left shoulder, your right shoulder there, my man. Your buddy Blake Snell.
Oh, yeah.
How about that addition here at Fergs?
That thing's sweet. I love that. I need that in my house.
The young guys don't like it. They think he looks a little dicey. They don't think it looks like him.
He's very friendly.
He looks a little more tan than normal.
Hey,
but
talk about Blake Snell. You said he's a nice guy.
I like Blake Snell. So
I thought he appeared to be a little smug when he was here.
Well, I mean, he's kind of got that sense of humor where it's a little bit hard to read unless you kind of know him.
Yeah.
You know, some people are just like that where it might be a situation where if you approach him and you're trying to like kiss a little booty or something,
Yeah.
he might not be very nice to you. But for me, I just talk to him like I'm talking to anybody, and we always got along. He was super cool. If I was walking,
He
through
seemed
the
a little
Rays
shy
clubhouse-
too.
A little
Media
bit,
shy.
but he would he'd pull me aside and say, "Hey, how you doing? How's everything going? What do you got on the team next door?" And I'd never tell him, of course. But Blake was always cool with me. We've got some mutual friends that we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
And
Of the female persuasion, I believe it was.
Uh-oh.
I can say that, can I?
you could say that. But no, Blake was always cool with me. So shout out to Blake.
Yeah.
I'll send him the picture that Trish took of me and the bobblehead Blake.
And that was another Cy Young Award winner that went through our the gates over there at Trop.
I'll show.
Yeah.
Actually, I actually do have a quick story to show that people do like Blake Snell. So nobody else.
Hey, Wyatt.
Yeah. You hear me?
Still can't. Yeah, he can hear us.
No, I can't hear him. Can you hear? Wyatt, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just can't hear him. But I always liked Blake Snell. I never thought he had a bad personality. I like the dog in him. I like the competitor. I like guys that are, that can be a little rough around the edges. I want that in my ball player. I don't want a, button up Harvard grad for my baseball player. I want some guy with some grit.
Right. And kind of another Rays player, pitcher, great. Now he's with the Dodgers, of course. Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah.
He is like the goofiest guy in the world with me, but I watched him do a podcast the other day, and I texted him. I was like, you need to do TV after your career because you're really good. He's very cerebral and smart if you watch what Tyler Glasnow talks about. And obviously he's great on the mound whenever he's healthy.
And then who do we have on the show from the Rays? It was on opening day.
We had Matt Joyce here.
Matt Joyce. Matt Joyce was
Oh, that was
awesome.
excellent, boys.
Yeah, thank you.
Joyce, very friendly guy.
Awesome.
That was my first time meeting him. Thank you for bringing him on. He was wonderful. He brought his daughter, and we had some great conversations with him.
No, he stuck around. He said, I got 5-10 minutes. I think he was here for about 15. And
Yeah.
just talking with us. His daughter loved the body armor drink. I've got a great photo of her, with
yeah.
her reaction. But yeah, I was super happy that Matt came by because he did another interview and he was like, I'll try and pop over. And he came right over and talked to us for a long time.
Seems like a really great guy. I loved watching him play when he was here with the Rays. Being a fan, it's great seeing those guys come back and contributing to the area.
Yeah.
And I think that's something special with this team is that so many of these guys have roots here in Tampa Bay, whether it's transplant and, you know, they start to build them, or they're actually born here like Brett Phillips.
Yeah, Brett, and then I think Matt grew up in Tampa too. So it's just like, and he doesn't have an official role with the Rays right now. He just came out to support Rays returning to St. Pete and Fergs opening day. So that was really
You got to
cool.
tell him to check out the Tampa Baseball Museum, because I bet you they probably have his baseball, one of his signed baseballs there, because they have every player from Hillsborough County signed baseballs up there on the wall. They even have guys going all the way back to, God, what was it? Al Lopez. Al
Really?
Lopez, the first Hall of Famer from Tampa Bay. So that's pretty remarkable what that museum has to offer. Wade Boggs, Fred McGriff, all the guys that are from here. Like, it's awesome to see it.
That's cool. I've got to check it out myself, but I'll definitely relay the message. I was a little bit nervous when Matt Joyce sat down because you were sitting right next to him.
Hey,
and
I
he's a
wasn't.
hitter.
I wasn't gonna say anything too crazy. Him there in person, you know, you got to
He's a bigger
temper
guy
it
than
down.
he seems like he would be, right?
Dude, he'd kick my ass. You kidding me?
Matt,
Yeah,
I tell you what,
yes.
he looked cut on the video.
Well, he's got the F45 gyms that keep him in shape.
No, that was pretty intriguing. I'd like to talk to him about that. You're going to talk to him about it.
Will do.
Maybe we can get him involved in some capacity,
Absolutely.
without a shadow of a doubt. All right, we're efforting the high school kids coming in. I think it's
They're right out there.
the Seminole.
Yeah, I'll go try and find them real quick, because I just saw Coach Barnes out there.
I didn't know that Brad wasn't going to join us. Brad
All right,
Richardson.
I'll go right out there. 1 second.
All right, so
Wait, you want the track team, or do you
yeah,
want
the track teams first, and then we'll go with the Indian Rocks, of course, the baseball team. Matt Joyce, this fitness gym, is it specific for baseball or just?
No, it's supposed to be more like functional movement, not just like, you know, doing.
That's what I need.
Yeah, exactly. Not just bench pressing, but like actual real life, everyday type of movements. And you just build up like those muscles. When people say I was sore in places I didn't even know about, it's all those places, your functional muscles.
You're listening to and watching the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection on our YouTube channel. Do us a favor. Go out there and hit like if you're watching this right now, and then subscribe. We've been very blessed as we launched this with plenty of views, but we got to get some followers. We'll get there. We've got Shipyard joining us now. It's going to be Shipyard Sports Connection production. Adam Fernandez in this Cracker Jack crew of Tristan Kennedy and of course Jake and lovely. Here we go. Now we got some tracksters in the house, and you're gonna help me out with this, Tristan. I'm just going by what everybody's telling me at the last second, so I thought Tristan would certainly. Ben, why don't you help me out since you know Coach and you know these kids, and then I'll chime in since I know a little bit about track and field, and we appreciate you coming down. We typically have Brad Richardson handling this, and he's got some responsibilities at the last minute, but you don't mind Ben, do you? It's okay to have him.
We love Ben.
You could have said something a little different, but yeah. Thanks for coming down, Coach. Thanks for bringing the kids.
Yes,
And I'm a huge track guy. Ran collegiately. I'm just an over-the-top fanatic. So anybody's participating in track and field, bravo. I know how lonely that sport can be, and thanks for coming on down.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming down. I know you guys know who I am, and I know who you are. So why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves real quick for everybody watching at home.
You should go ahead first.
I'm Christian. We go to Seminole High School.
Yeah.
And I do track. I mainly only do running events, so mostly 100, 200, and 4x1. So, yeah, that's me.
Okay. And what class are you in?
Sophomore.
Sophomore.
I'm Haley. I'm a senior at Seminole High School. I do.
Here, bring that mic up to you so that way they can hear you.
Like this. Is this good?
Well, you can grab the mic, you can pull it closer, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Just don't drop it.
I will not drop it. Okay. I'm a senior. I do track. I'm a field event person, so I throw javelin. I'm also doing shot put, so that's a new event for me. And yeah.
All right, and Coach?
And my name is Teron Barnes. I'm the head coach for Seminole Track and Field. I also teach at Seminole High School too as well, United States History and 8-push as well.
Yeah, 2 doors down from me, so it's nice having you here. We're hanging out on the weekend for a change. This is
know,
fun.
yes.
This is nice.
Yes, vibe. It's nice.
And you
real
brought
nice.
2 great students. You know, I'm lucky enough to have you in my class, and you're right across the hall, and you got some great kids here on the team. Can you tell us a little bit about the kids that are on the team this year, kind of the outlook of the season, and how it's been going so far?
Well, the season has been going great. As you said, we have some amazing kids with Haley and Christian. They've been super supportive, very athletic, and had some amazing performances this year. I could start with Haley. She's our senior, and she's in javelin right now. She's placed in a lot of events so far this season. Yesterday, she placed 2 as well for our PCAC championships. And next week for district, I'm hoping that she places 2 as well. And Christian right here, our sophomore, he's had an amazing season, especially after coming back from an injury last year. He has a personal best of a 12:07 for the 100-meter dash. We're trying to work on getting that 11 seconds, so we're going to work pretty hard in the off season and just get him going, training hard, getting ready for that.
So Christian, how do we get to that number? How do we shave our time down like that? What does Coach have you do?
It's not about what he has us do. It's just all about like putting in work and dedication for the sport. Not to throw shade, but you know, there's kind of some people out there who doesn't put in the effort and work as hard. So you just have to be dedicated and just put in the effort. And if you're determined to win, then that's how you're gonna get that time to shave.
That's great. That's great. And then you're throwing the javelin.
Yeah.
Now that scares me, Coach. I'd stay far away. I'm afraid of getting skewered. So what's it like throwing javelin? Because I feel like not a lot of people have ever done that. I know I've never thrown something like that.
I started last year. I used to run my sophomore year, but I wanted to switch to something that was not running because I hate running. It's definitely something different. I really had to learn. You have to learn how to throw.
Sure.
If somebody just picks it up and tries to throw it, it's not gonna go anywhere. You're gonna hate yourself with it. It's something I didn't know I was gonna be doing. It's interesting and it's very I don't know what the word is, but competing with it, it's been very interesting. It's harder than it looks, I will say.
I could imagine. I know I couldn't do that. I'd be afraid. I'd be afraid someone's gonna sue me because I'm gonna skewer somebody. But that's awesome. So you guys had a meet last night, right? How did that go for you guys?
It went really well. I was really surprised with the performances of the kids. They went all out for the last meet of the season. Our regular season is all done, so we're getting ready to go into the postseason now with districts next week, Thursday at Clearwater High School. I told them last night, I'm super proud of you guys. We had many kids report PRs last night, and it just made me super proud as a coach because all the hard work and the dedication, as Christian said earlier, has been paying off. And just seeing everything go full circle and just flow in motion, I'm just super proud as a coach.
That's wonderful. So is there a good sense of camaraderie on this team? Everybody kind of working together to get to that goal of really elevating Seminole High School?
Yeah. I mean, it's as much as a individual sport, it's very much a team sport at the same time, with just being there to support each other. Like people coming out for events that they aren't competing for another like 5 hours. They're gonna still show up and support their team because like that's just, I feel like having your team supporting you just helps you perform better. I think it's.
Do you guys have any captains on the team?
I would say Haley is a good
Yeah,
captain.
Haley's a good captain.
Haley is
and
a
also
wonderful person.
Yeah.
Like she's always there to motivate. She throws javelin, so like she's basically the first to compete. But she'll still stick around for runners and support us, and just we all look up to Haley.
That's wonderful to have great leadership on a team like that. And I'm assuming you have some good young talent coming up. I mean, Christian, you're a sophomore, so you're stuck with him for a few more years.
That's right, yeah.
I know we got you for a few more years, so I'm
Yeah.
excited. You know, I say that in jest, but you know that's great that you get to learn from her and kind of see what it's like to be a captain. And I'm sure, Coach, you do a lot to try and instill those values in the players.
yes, I'm always for camaraderie and team morale and everything. And just everybody supporting everybody, no matter what event that we have. We always try to go out there and just push to support everyone. Because like Haley said earlier, we're out there all day for 7 to 8 hours.
Oh,
Sometimes.
I see you guys.
Yeah. So we want to just try to support everyone and just lift each other up, pick each other up, and motivate. Because teamwork makes the dream work. So if you got your teammates pushing you, you're gonna get a little extra harder performance.
So I got to ask you two, does Coach Barnes do anything special to kind of get you guys hyped up, or is there any kind of goofy routines that you guys may do?
Probably not.
I wouldn't say goofy, but like he'll put us in that lab, man. Like he'll have us working. Like if there's something off shady that went around in the group meeting or anything, he'll definitely have us out there working more and working harder. He'll throw in a little more like ladders, and I appreciate him for that because those ladders and all those exercises really shave down a lot in my time. And yeah, he puts us in that lab.
Okay. Any players that kind of get everybody hyped up? Because I'm used to baseball. You know, heck, when a pitcher, when he's about to go out there, when we want to get him amped up, you give him a good old slap on the back, you know, a little power slap. Is there any player that's doing something fun for you guys?
I would say this young man right here. Christian's just a great ball of energy. He's always supporting everybody. The loudest one supporting too, just clapping and just getting everybody's attention. I would say he's our biggest supporter on the team by far.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you guys said that you're going into districts. Districts are coming up. How does that look for somebody who has no clue what a track and field event is like? What do I have to expect?
Well, Coach, I'm right there in the same boat with you because this is my first year coaching track and field. So it's been a learning curve for me because I'm a football guy. I played football my whole entire life from high school up until college. So, you know, it's been a learning phase for me. But, you know, I've had a lot of help with our coaches that did coach with us this year. And just the help that I've had from some of the other coaches out from the track and field meets, they've been helping me out since I am a rookie coach. And basically with district, they're selecting the best of the best. For example, Haley with javelin, if she has some of the best throws out there, she's going to get selected and she's going to be honored and recognized as being someone making district. And the same applies vice versa for Christian. If he has some pretty fast times, they're going to select the 16 fastest times to get out there. So it all comes down to the performance that the kids had over the season. The county is going to recognize that, and they're going to set up the events based on their performance.
So do you have a large number of kids going from Seminole?
Yes.
Both these two going?
Well, Christian, he's going to be resting right now.
Resting,
because he did receive an injury, but he's going to be there supporting us and whatnot.
Always.
But you're working back.
Oh yeah, I'm I wouldn't use like injury as an excuse. Like for example, DK Metcalf, even if he's injured, he's still gonna go into rehab and put in the work to get back out there. So I will be doing like rehab with Allison and all those. Like, you know, I'm not gonna use that as an excuse to say, yeah, I get to stay home. No, I'm gonna go out there and support the team, because there's no team without support. You know, the team needs support. You have to be there, step up. So I'm gonna be in rehab and try to get back out there.
That's awesome. And to everybody listening at home, I'm there at school. I'm there on campus, and I see this guy working. He's in there every day doing his rehab, doing everything he needs to do to get better. And I see you every day in the classroom. You're hitting the books. You're working hard, keeping eligible, keeping that GPA up. And I know that's probably something that, as teachers, we stress to the players as well.
That's right. The kids know me. If you're in Barnes' classroom, you're going to be in there learning. And we also have a good time, too, as well, because I'm really big on education. My family, they strive for education and excellence. So I want to apply the same rules to the kids, too, as well, because that's the reason why I became a teacher, you know, to try to help the youth out, not only with education, but to be a mentor, a role model, too, and just be a good leadership role model for them as well.
That's awesome. So I got to ask you guys, what's been your favorite memory so far? Maybe your favorite track meet that you've had so far this season, or even your whole career. I know you're a senior, so you're almost out of here. I know you're probably excited, a little nervous.
Yeah. I'd say probably this year. Honestly, I think just the hanging out with the team at the track meet, being all together, like screaming for the sprinters when they get up there. We're all screaming on the sidelines for them. So I think that's just my favorite part. It's just the family that we have on the team and just hanging out. Last year we did have a bit of a bigger team, so it's a little bit different. We have a smaller team this year, but last year was a lot of fun. There was probably like 20 of us just all combined onto a little bed. Like we would all just like double down together. So track is definitely, from a different sport, because I used to play soccer, going to track, it's just such a better environment for like, just, you have a family.
That's awesome.
So. Wow, you got me there. I had to think. Favorite memory. Despite missing out last year due to a leg surgery, favorite memory is probably running, because I know like I've ran for someone else in a track meet, but it wasn't like officially for me. My favorite memory was probably when I personally ran for myself, and having like people like Haley and your teammates supporting you. That was probably one of the best memories I ever had. And just really just getting a personal best, knowing that, because I was so down on myself, saying like, I don't know how I'm gonna get this, and all of a sudden I just ran a 12.07, and now that's my new personal best. So
that's
just,
awesome, and that
yeah.
must feel amazing to have
Amazing.
your teammates
Yeah.
as well being so supportive. Coach, how do you help foster that where you have such a good amount of camaraderie between the players?
I just try to lift them up and, just try to be as positive as possible because, they're young kids. So
Yeah.
they need those positive affirmations to, lift them up. Me and Christian were talking yesterday with a spiritual word from a Chinese proverb called Kodadama. And our words have power, words have meaning. So I just try to teach the kids new things that can help be beneficial to their life, and they can help apply it to their athletics and everything too. So just being a good, person to help uplift and just motivate them is my goal as a coach and as a teacher too as well.
We might have to invite you down to the baseball field, get some Kodadama. Is that what it was?
Yes sir, Kodadama. So it's a spiritual word. I don't know if you ever heard, but whatever we speak, it can come true. For example, like, man, I'm broke right now. You could possibly be broke. You know what I'm saying? So just try to be positive with your words. Watch what you say, because it can come true.
Okay,
Gotta
I
be
like
careful.
that. I like that. And I'm assuming that's resonating with you guys, right?
Yeah, man, this is actually funny. So yesterday at the track meet, he told me about that, and I felt something, and I kept on saying in my head, man, we're gonna do good. Man, we're gonna do good. Our team got like 3 medals that day. Like, she has a medal, Kian has a medal. Our guys 4x1 got medals, first place medals. Like, it's just really good. It was a good meeting.
That's awesome. And so going into districts, what's your goal? What's your game plan? What's your mindset like going into this big tournament?
I'm really stressed out right now. I haven't been performing how I want to be, so I think I need to lock in at practice. I need to run over my steps and stuff. I want to go to regionals again. There was only 2 juniors I went last year, and I was part of that, so I want to go again this year. I think I just need to stay positive because I haven't been doing my best at practice, so I think that staying positive is probably something that's going to help me out a lot.
Hit the Kodama or
Kodadama.
Kodadama. I was close. Well, that's great. Well, generally I start to ask guys, what's your favorite team? But I don't know if there's a favorite team for track and field. Do you guys have like a favorite track and field person?
Go ahead. You go ahead, kids.
I'll say this. It wouldn't be a team if there was favoritism, but I don't personally have a favorite. Of course, I'm in the running, event, so I'm going to support the running guys. Eric, like, he's been my day one. We're going through the same thing with our legs, and I'm really proud of him for going out there doing his best. So I'll probably say he's like one of my brothers, so like he's up there.
I like the athlete. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, but Usain Bolt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Usain Bolt.
That's about the only one I know.
Yeah, he's awesome. Tyson Gaye's pretty good too. Actually, a guy that we went to the Thomas Shed Jackson meet and the Trevon Bromwell. I've looked up those guys and researched them and try to apply those moves and techniques to the kids too as well. So Noah Lyles is also a good choice too as well.
Okay.
He's a good 200-meter runner.
All right, cool. Yeah, I got to come out for one of y'all's practices because I'm slow as all get out, guys. And I know a lot of my baseball boys can learn to get a little quicker.
I told them to come out there.
Well, I think it was Top Gun. He feels the need for speed.
Yeah.
And you're only going to get it. That's why I was always a proponent for track and field for any sport. Is participation in track and field is going to help you. And a lot of coaches embrace that. And it's unfortunate. It's kind of tough to do around here with the football players because of spring ball. Am I right?
That's right, yeah.
And it takes away, unfortunately. So you, young lady, you were a little concerned about going into the districts. You know what? This is you're late in the season. Your time to shine, and you guys know that. But bravo! I would have thought, because I'm an ambassador for track and field. I can tell you, who the top runners in the world, almost every race, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of love for track and field. you're walking in the hallways. People don't know you're on the track team, but you know, you'll learn a lot of lessons in life. But most important right now is let's do a shout out to the people that got you here, your family, the ones that have taken care of you, getting you here.
Oh, sorry.
Or did you do it on your own?
No, definitely not. I would say biggest supporter. First off, I want to thank the man above, because without him, I wouldn't be here.
Absolutely, young man.
I literally could have lost my life due to his leg.
That microphone a little bit.
To that bad accident. So I want to thank the man above. Second off, I just want to support my grandmother. She tries to come out to almost every single meet, whether it's in Tarpon or anywhere out there. She'll come out there and try to support.
What's grandma's name?
Joyce. So
I still got quicks. See that?
Yeah, I got hands. Yeah, and another person is my mom. She like, man, sorry.
Don't worry. That means it's how much love you have for her.
She
What's her name?
sacrifices. Shantae. She sacrifices a lot for 3 children. You know, she tries, and whatever she has, man, she'll literally just try to give it to us. She'll sacrifice more than us, than herself. So
you know, God bless you because you appreciate that. You got any siblings that you want to shout out to that, or do any, or you don't want to?
Oh, I do.
Hey, you took a deep breath there, young man.
Shout out to my brother Xavier. Shout out to my brother Zion. I love you both.
Did any of them participate in track?
No, they're not like that. But they do participate in football. So they're really competitive in what they do. So I love them. They try to uplift me. You know, I don't really talk to my older brother Zion as much, but I recently saw him, so I'm just happy and just thankful to have brotherhood in my life.
Coach, this young man has quite the personality, I can tell. Am I right?
Yes, he's an amazing kid. I have him a lot of my 6th period class. He comes down and get a lot of good time together, help him out.
So do you got anything positive to say about Coach Ben Botham?
Oh, Coach Botham.
don't worry that he's right here.
Oh, no. No. I don't know if I told you, made an impact on my life, man. I remember one day I'll see him and it was like, "What's good, boss man?" And we just, every time I see him, I fist bump and say, "What's good, boss man?" And that's like our lingo now. So I really appreciate him. He's very supportive. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. When I tell you, like, I'm a very supportive of our school and everything. I came out to a baseball game for them. It was like cold as ever, literally cold as ever, and we traveled all the way to Gibbs and Tarpon for a basketball game with his baseball guys. So, yeah, I'm
Did
really
you thank him for this?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I see him every day in the hallways, Mike.
All right, young man. Hey, one question I like to ask the athletes. They don't like to hear it. Do you have a girlfriend?
Yes, I do.
Well, you better do a shout out to her.
Shout out to my girlfriend Annika. She also runs track. So.
Oh,
yeah.
Perfect. All right, young lady, and I wish you well in districts.
Thank you.
Kick some butt, and young lady. So, you want to do a shout out to anyone?
Yeah, I would say to my parents, my dad and my mom.
Their names?
Oh, Jen and Roland. They both work full-time jobs, and there's 5 kids. So
5 children.
5 children.
Where are you on the
I'm
food chain?
I'm the second oldest.
Okay.
My older brother actually just left for the Marines. He's in basic right now.
God bless him.
Yeah, my parents show up as much as they can to my track meets to support me for anything, even on top of their jobs and taking care of my younger siblings. So, yeah, I appreciate it more than they know. So.
You have to deal with Coach Ben Botham anytime?
Yes, I have him 3rd period, so that's really my 1st period because I only have 4 classes, so it's 3rd through 6th. But yes, he's a very good teacher. I do love history, so he puts it in a way where I.
Oh my gosh, young lady, you don't realize how much we're gonna have to hear this now. No, we love Ben. He's a great human being, and I know his passion and love for Seminole's obvious. He came back there to give back, and bravo. You're gonna do well. You build up towards the end of the season 4 districts, right, Coach?
That's right.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Well, and you, thank you very much for bringing them down, and God bless you for mentoring kids.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
It's a very important time in our country that these young kids, and you got 2 great ones right there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure many more on the team. I would have thought more wanted to come down because track
Yeah.
doesn't get any love.
One
Yeah.
more wanted to come, so.
Yeah, well, we'll
Yeah.
give you a shot. We'll make sure you get on earlier next year, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, and that is representatives from the Seminole Warhawk track and field team. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. You
Thank you
too.
as well.
When's districts? Next weekend?
Yes, next Thursday.
Okay, I'll get an update from the coach here.
All right.
Yeah, but speaking of that, Botham, you didn't show out yesterday.
I see. I thought you were. I thought it was going to be here in St. Pete. You said we're East Lake.
East Lake.
I thought you meant Northeast. I'll be 100% honest. I was having a talk with somebody like, yeah, I'm going down to Northeast for it, and they looked at me a little puzzled, and then I realized, oh, you're all the way North County. So, whoops, that was on
No,
me.
it's all good.
That
It's
was
all
on
good.
me.
It's all good.
All right, Ben. We're going to bring in the Indian Rocks baseball team. Ben maybe needs you to steal some bases.
Hey, if he wants me out there, I'm more than welcome. I will do it, 1,000%. I have a love for baseball too, so if Ben wants me, I'll go out there.
All right, guys. Well, again, thank you very much for coming down, and I'll get an update on your success. Did you hear that, young lady?
Yes.
Positive thinking, your
Positive
success
thinking.
at
Right,
districts.
positive.
All right, in the house, you'll have to give up your seats.
Thank you.
You bet. And that nice conversation, of course, with the Seminole Warhawk track and field team, brought to you by our great friends at Body Armor, Coca-Cola, and One Price Wipes. This is going to be a portion of all of our broadcasts brought to you by Body Armor, Coca-Cola, and Shipyard Sports Connection Productions as we expand our footprint. Come on, sit down, guys. Let's talk a little baseball. Got Ben Botham is going to take this over. He's the assistant coach at Seminole. Ben, I'm going to once again hand the mic to someone that knows a lot more than I do, and talk a little baseball.
Here we are. All right, guys. We have the Indian Rocks baseball team here. Thank you guys for coming on. How you guys doing today?
Good. How are you guys?
Great. Yeah, nice and loud. Like you're on the ball field, guys. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah. So why don't we go down the line, introduce yourselves, position you play, the class that you're in, that sort of thing.
My name's Logan Aiken. I play left field. I'm class of 2026.
Noah Mortalite, class of 2027, shortstop.
Reese Barbaro, class of 2027, center field pitcher.
Ty Strickland, class of 2026, pitcher, first base, and a little bit outfield too.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on. So tell me a little bit about your team. What do you guys? What's like the team motto? Do you guys have anything that's kind of revving you guys up so far this season? Something that's kind of gets everybody together?
Well, I mean, we started out our season 1-7, so then we kind of had I think we took it along the lines to just have more fun, and I think we were trying too hard to do too much with ourselves, but instead of just playing the game and having fun, and that's when we started winning.
I completely agree. Definitely just less pressure and no stress. Just go out there and backyard baseball.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with them.
We definitely came together more as a team, and our team chemistry is a lot better now.
That's great. So what have you guys done to kind of build that team chemistry? Because I know I played baseball. You know, I know that we do some goofy things. What have been some of the things that kind of build that team chemistry amongst you guys?
We all like to hang out outside of baseball. We have prom tonight, and we'll all probably end up hanging out, and we just we've been friends for a long time. Since we were young, we've all been growing up together, so we just have that chemistry.
Yeah, spending time on and off the field, especially doing things together, and not only having plans to go out and hang out, but just chilling at each other's house, very laid back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think bus rides to the games and after the games for sure, and team dinners too help a lot.
Oh, bus rides! I know all about the bus rides. Is anybody on Ox for the bus ride? Who's picking the tunes?
A little bit of all of us.
Yeah. He brings a speaker.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the number one song? What's the song that gets you guys fired up?
Anything by Kodak, really.
Anything
Yeah.
by
Anything
Kodak.
by Kodak,
Yeah.
really.
He's the
some Rod
hometown
Wave.
hero, you
Some
know.
Rod Wave.
Well, Rod Wave's the real hometown hero. We're here in St. Pete now.
Of course.
And Boss Mandela.
Oh, all right. No Big X the plug.
A little bit of Big X.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I can appreciate that. See, Coach Botham over here, he's not that out of it. So, so Coach, can you tell me a little bit about this team? What it's been like coaching them? What's the outlook for the remainder of the season? Because we're going into the end of the year here.
Yeah. Well, this was my first crack at this team here. It's been a process. It's been an interesting process. We started off a little slow. We played some really tough teams. We had a tough schedule. But somewhere after that point where they said, 6, 7 games into it, they got together and they held their own little team meeting, which I was really impressed with. Something in my career that was very effective as a player when the players got together and no coaches allowed. They got together, and I saw a shift in the energy of the team then. And then from that point on, we started playing some really good baseball. One of the biggest challenges for me as a new head coach was just shifting the energy, shifting the culture of the dugout. Had some tough conversations with some players, and just try to nip some things in the bud. Just trying to, like I said, just shift the culture, and it's been going great. I think we're going in the right direction now. And they're playing some good baseball. And we're at the point in the season right now where if you're hot and you're playing good baseball, it's a good time to be hot right now because we got district playoffs coming up on Tuesday, and that's the time to do it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Who are you guys facing off against this Tuesday?
We face Admiral Farragut on Tuesday. Yeah.
All right, great. Now, can you give us a little bit of your background? Because you're an ex-MLBer, right?
I am.
Okay.
Yes. I was fortunate enough, blessed enough to play here with the Rays. In that first year in 1998, they picked me up in the expansion draft. The Baltimore Orioles left me exposed to the expansion draft, and it was either me or Rafael Palmeiro. So they left me exposed, and the Rays picked me up. And I was fortunate to get a lot of playing time during those first 2 years. Our shortstop Kevin Stalker got hurt, and I got a lot of that playing time. So I think I got over 300 at bats each year.
Selfishly, I got to ask you, what was it like playing with Wade Boggs?
Wade Boggs was great. Roberto Hernandez, who I saw last night at St. Pete Catholic, he was part of their coaching staff. Roberto, Wilson Alvarez, Mike DeFelice, Flaherty. We had some great players. It was an interesting mix of older guys that were staying in the game, and then younger guys like myself and Mike DeFelice and Bobby Smith, who were just coming up. So it was a good mix, and I'm pretty sure we led the league in fun that year. Yeah.
That's always good. How do you translate that MLB experience and the lessons that you learned to these young men right here?
Yeah, well, baseball is it's a game that speaks to all ages and all levels. I just try to share just some of the work ethic that is important. Work ethic and, like I said, the culture of the team, the energy of the dugout is important. I made it a point early in the fall, and I told these guys if they just take care of the dugout, the wins are going to happen because they know how to play the game. I just try to stay out of the way and just let them play the game because I know they know how to play it. There are some things, we need to fine tune, just the level, it's the age that we're at. But they know how to play the game. They know they play the game right. And when they do that, the W's will happen, right? So we take care of the culture. We take care of the dugout. Let the scoreboard take care of itself.
Wonderful. What's it like having him as a coach, guys? Because that's got to be something special, having a former MLB player as your head coach. Not everybody gets something like that cool. A lot of guys are just getting Joe Schmo that's, volunteering at his school or the history teacher like myself.
It's great because he brings a lot of baseball experience and knowledge to pour into us, and it's made us a better team. Yeah.
His fungo is immaculate.
Wow, Coach,
Fungo, yeah.
Great fungo. Catcher pops, can you knock those out?
I'm sorry?
Catcher pops?
I tried last night for the first time and didn't end well.
Oh, jeez. Come on, man. You're hyping them up. What's going on? Outfielders. Okay. Is he the hardest coach on you? I assume you got a couple coaches on the team. Mm-hmm. Is he the one that's getting into you the most, or who's the guy that's really kind of giving you the business, letting you guys know hey, we got to get after it here today?
I'd say he definitely is.
Yeah. I like that, though. You know, it's good to have somebody kind of revving you up a little bit, lighting the fire under your butts a little bit, right? Okay. What about captains? Anybody a captain? Okay. What do you do to kind of keep these guys in line? I know Coach mentioned that you guys had a team meeting, just yourselves as players. Was it you kind of leading that, or was it you? Okay.
Yeah, I felt like at the beginning of the year we were 1-7. We had like hard teams and stuff, but I felt like everyone was playing selfishly, and like nobody really wanted to be there at that point. And I just felt like we needed to have a meeting, and we kind of just went around and told each other what we didn't like and what we liked about how they were playing, and it kind of just worked, and it clicked, and everyone took it and learned from it.
So there's good senior leadership, I'm guessing, from you. Is there a
I'm
good
a
bunch?
junior.
Oh, a junior. Wow, junior captain. That's wonderful. So good junior leadership. So you're going to be there another year, Coach. So you got a young team?
We do, yeah. We're graduating 3 seniors this year. 2 of them are here, Logan and Ty. Q is the third. We're definitely going to miss them, but we have the core of our team is coming back next year, and it's really exciting and really optimistic for next year too.
That's wonderful. So you guys have kind of built this bond so far through the season. Even though you started off a little rocky, things have bounced back. You guys are starting to really feel like a family.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's go favorite memory so far this year. Is there anything that really stood out to you guys? I know you got at least 2 seniors with you, so that's wonderful. You guys are about to move on to the next chapter of your lives. What do you remember most from this season that really stood out to you?
You want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. So on senior night, I hit my first home run, and it happened to be a grand slam.
Wow.
And
that's a heck of a moment.
Yeah.
That'd be my best memory.
Yeah. 2 outs, bases loaded, and we were down, and hit the grand slam. That gave us the lead, and I think it was 6th inning. So we went back out on the field and won the game from there.
That's like a little league dream. Every kid, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th kind of thing. That's awesome that you got to have that.
I'd say the baseball mission trip. Every year we go to West Palm and we provide services for some churches, and we're a group of around 20 young men that can do stuff and make it a lot easier on people in the church community.
Probably my home run also. That was a good memory, and then like West Palm, obviously.
I wouldn't say I have a favorite memory, but just like the dinners after, the bus rides, like all of those are just fun, and always making a memory on those.
So can you tell me a little bit more about the West Palm trip? Is that, you said it's a mission trip. Is it like you guys are going out there doing religious stuff, or are you guys playing baseball as well?
So we go and like help out. So the first day we got there, we just like got there, and then we went to like this family church, and we helped like mulch and like move chairs around. That would have took them hours, but then they got to spend their time pouring into their kids. So we didn't really help share the gospel to anyone else, but we helped like them so they could spend more time focusing on the
We
kids.
also played one game there and practiced up there as well.
That's awesome. Coach, what does it mean? You guys are at a Christian school. What does it mean, faith, baseball? How does all that kind of come together, and what does that mean to these young men?
Yeah, it's a great question. Our faith is our most important thing, and everything stems off of that. We all realize that we all have gifts from God, and it's a responsibility to work hard and hone those skills, and do the best we can on the field, so we can create a platform to share our faith with other people. Fortunately, I was fortunate enough to play in the major league, so it's a responsibility of mine to use that platform to share my faith, and it's not easy at times, but it is something that we are called to do.
And I love that you guys really go out into the community and do that with your mission trips. That's remarkable that you guys are able to do that, and the impact, just being able to kind of show people what a baseball team can do must mean a lot to you guys, and that's something that really sticks with you. Yeah. All right, guys. So we're going into districts. We're playing
Admiral Farragut.
Admiral Farragut. What are we looking forward to there? What's kind of like the game plan? Have you guys really had a successful strategy so far this season of like how you approach a game, how you get ready for it?
Yeah, we've been playing some really good baseball, like I said. Last couple of games, we had a tough loss against a really good team from Illinois a few nights ago, and then last night was a tough loss against St. Pete. But we have been playing some good baseball. I think right now the guys are kind of just settling into their roles, and that's been an important part of why we've been playing some good baseball. The energy in the dugout's been great. The guys are pulling for one another. So yeah, it's just play the game the way it's supposed to be played, playing clean baseball, and I think if we just do that, we'll win some games.
Well, Coach, I applaud you for one thing, giving back. I was just telling Fred, my friend there, who's a partner of mine, I love the stories, Coach at Clearwater Central Catholic, guys like you coming and giving back to these youngsters, and being a role model as well, and sharing your experiences in the bigs and your route to get there. But more importantly right now, I need each one of you to recognize the people in your life that got you here. So why don't you do a shout out to your families? We archive this, and I'll just give you one hint. I always start with the mom.
All right. My mom, Amy, she really helps me along the way. Also my dad and my brother, and
what's Pop's name?
James.
Yeah.
And my brother Dylan, and all my aunt and uncles, and yeah.
I'd like to give first to God for giving me the talents to be here today.
Bravo.
And then Tara Mordelite, my mom, she's always there to support me through my bad games. John Mordelite, my dad, he's always there. Like, they always pay for my training and stuff, always there behind my back and help me. And then my brother, Caleb Mordelite, he's always, we're always in the side yard playing baseball together, getting better every day.
All right, you young man?
My mom, Barbara, my dad, Michael, who's actually right behind you, my brother, Gavin, who's at UCF, and just all my close friends and families who've gotten me through everything, and God, most importantly.
Yeah, I'd like to give thanks to my mom, Wendy, always supported me throughout the way, just giving me great life advice, and my dad, Mark, basically just like give me advice through baseball, and not just baseball, but life too. Always, both of them paying for my lessons and just really helped me along the way. And I'd like to thank my grandparents too. They're always great support.
You know what? I almost let you guys off the hook. I was almost remiss. Girlfriend?
Nah, no girlfriend.
Good man.
Girlfriend of 3 years.
Well, it's obviously working. You better do a shout out to her. I'm going to tell you right now.
Charlie Markowitz, I forgot.
Okay. Young man?
Nope.
No girlfriend.
You're the lone wolf.
Yeah.
And it must be working, so I applaud you. Well, guys, Coach, thank you very much. Thank you for bringing the boys down, the young men down here. I wish you well as the season now is getting into the playoffs, and we'll have you down again, Coach, and we'll have some baseball talk. How's that sound? All right, that's the Indian Rocks Eagles in the house, and brought to you by our great friends at Body Armor Coca-Cola. Great job by Ben Botham. Let's bring over. Let's get Nick in here. We got to wind the show down. You guys have to give. I know you don't want to, but you have to give up the seats to the next generation. Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it very much. Nice conversation with Seminole Track today, and our primetime preps conversation. Body Armor Coca-Cola, as we bring the high school kids down each and every Saturday. And Ben Botham, a nice conversation there with Fred Forsley. As I open the show, we're launching the Shipyard Sports Connection, and of course, this is our production. We're going to be adding a lot more content to our footprint, utilizing the contacts in the Northeast. We were going to have a great conversation, and I can tell he's going to be superb. Bobby Labby from Camden, Maine, the Sea Dogs there. He's a character. I'm going to tell you right now. He was at the Boston Garden last night. TD now. I still call it the Garden. And he's puck drop was at 12:30. Must win. It's on right now down here at Fergs Sports Bar and Grill. Must win for the Bruins to get into the playoffs. And White Ross, we're sorry. We're having a little technical difficulty. But as always, my man, we'll get you on with your Bolts Up Day and a little conversation on your, I think it was 8 to 10 days he was at ESPN. Pretty cool,
living
huh?
it up there.
Great job, buddy, carrying, you know, I found out at the last minute that Brad wasn't going to be here. You carried the torch, and so now you're the designated high school guy. I'm gonna sit back like Lorne Michaels and watch you guys handle the productions. And then, of course, Nick, thanks for coming down and taking time as well, each and every Saturday with us. Did you knew the track kids?
Yeah. I have both of them kind of in my classes, in some manner or fashion. And they're great kids. I love having them at school. Christian, I love seeing Christian out here. He's a great kid.
He's a beacon of energy and light.
Yeah, he's full of energy. You know, I've talked to him quite a bit. We went on a road trip to Gibbs, where when Seminole basketball was playing them, and he brought a heck of a lot of energy and just a really great student. I'm happy that we got him for another 2 years. And Coach Barnes is really doing a great job with those young men and women on the track team. And, you know, it's tough coming in as a first-time track coach. Like he said, he's mainly a football guy. And him coming out there and having the season that he's been having, I'm really proud of him, proud of the players. And, you know, bright futures ahead for Seminole.
Did he have a decent season?
Yeah, it sounds
I didn't
like
get to listen to the broadcast. I will a little bit later
Yeah,
on.
it sounds like they're doing pretty well. They're sending a couple kids to districts, and you know, I don't know about how districts works entirely for them, but what he made it sound like the top 16 end up going to districts, and it sounded
Track's
like
pretty simple to figure out.
Well,
you run faster than the other guys, you're advancing.
Well, I know that part, but I wasn't sure if every school you send somebody, but it sounds like the top 16 get to go. And so Barnes is going to have a great group of young men and women going out there. And
What year is that young man?
Christian, he's a sophomore.
Okay, he's got a bright future.
Yeah, and he's battled back through some injuries, and Miss Allison, our athletic trainer, she's helped him quite a lot. I see him in the athletic training room working hard and really doing all of his exercises to get as good as he can be and come back next season and hopefully set some more PRs.
That little guy plays football too?
Did he say he played football?
He's got brothers that play football, but
Okay.
man, he's slight when it comes to.
He's quick, man. He's quick.
I bet they'd like him a defensive back. Anything you want? Oh, you want to do a shout out to your driver?
Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know, obviously I work with Mike here on the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection, but my other gig in life is I represent a few NASCAR drivers. And we basically help them find partnership and sponsorship. One of my main drivers, Sally Mott, she's actually racing right now in Daytona, but she used to race in the Mazda MX-5 Cup Series. She's a 21-year-old driver, bright future ahead
Where's
of her.
she from?
She's from Texas. Just moved to North Carolina on her own to pursue getting into NASCAR. So next week is her first late model oval race. And so I just wanted to say, Sally, shout out to you. I'm going to talk to you after you get done racing today in Daytona, but looking forward to her career in NASCAR starting.
Well, we were going to have a conversation with, and you're familiar with this event. We're going to go this year, by the way. I said both of you guys are going to be going. We were going to have John Rager on again from On the Tee, Florida, but he was going to promote baseball, bourbon, and cigars.
Oh,
talk about
my
that.
favorite event.
We'll be there.
And it's at the Stein, as they call it this year, which will be kind of cool. Having it at Yankees practice spring training facility. And last year, the Rays' temporary home, he was going to talk about that and the Masters. And I know you're not a big follower of golf.
I like golf, though. We had a tradition up at Savannah State every year when the Masters would come on.
That was a drinking tradition.
Yeah, but we'd still watch it. And we would sit up on the roof because we lived in a little townhouse and we had a garage set right next to it.
You sit on the roof?
Yeah, you could get right on the roof.
Nothing says Animal House like sitting on the roof drinking.
We set up a TV. We had the little antenna, and we'd watch the Masters, and we drink Colt 45s.
Was it in black and white?
No, it was full color.
Full color with the
1080p
antennas.
HD. It was great. Yeah, it was a great time. We had extension cords running everywhere. We're sitting on the roof, enjoying the breeze, enjoying a couple cold ones, Colt 45s, the big 40s.
Who needs to go to Augusta?
Yeah, that blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
We even had a mulberry tree behind us, and we'd eat the berries.
Mulberries and frickin' Colt 45.
It was great.
Nothing says college like that. Any interest in golf at all?
My brother's a big golf guy, so he usually keeps me up to date. But again, another sport I'm not good at.
Well,
Mike,
it's
so
a
not
superb
really.
event. So I'll give the leaderboard for anybody out there listening that's interested. As you can see, I got my Masters 2025 hat on, and various years going back. What is this? 2009. 2009.
Ooh, that's the year I graduated.
Thanks for making me feel older. Anyway, I'm already a dinosaur as far as my body's concerned. But anyway, it's an incredible event, and they had the par 3 the other day. You see, Kevin Hart was caddy.
I can't stand Kevin Hart. He is so unfunny. I can't stand him. He's probably my least favorite comedian out there.
He was a caddy. He sucks in golf, worse than me.
Good.
And then Jason Kelsey was also a caddy.
They got to get Shane Gillis out there. You know, Kill Tony. Get those kind of guys out there. I don't want to see Kevin Hart.
Right now, after 2 rounds and the cut, in fact, he was the winner last year. Rory McIlroy has a commanding 6-stroke lead over Sam Burns, an American. Patrick Reed, I can't stand that cat. He's 6 under. Shane Lowry, who's a personality, he's an Irishman, so he and McIlroy are close buddies. He's a 5 under. Tommy Fleetwood, he's from England, and Justin Rose, also from England. I'm kind of bad about this. I want to see those red, white, and blue flags when we're talking majors and opens like this. And I guess that's far enough to go down, but we'll talk about, we'll have a great recap live from Sea Dogs, and of course, in our Shipyard broadcasting partner now down at Sea Dogs on Thursday from 6 to 8. We'll do a recap of the entire Masters with John Rager, Bill Butner, of course, Ashley Grimaldi, and the handicapper, and that, of course, is Christian Champ Sharp. And then Teddy Bruschi. You haven't met our Teddy Bruschi. You guys are going to love
I like
the
the last name.
Yeah, well, we're going to bring him. He played a little baseball at Kent State, too.
All right.
So, wrap for the weekend. What do you got going on?
So I have a baby shower to go to tomorrow.
Jesus.
So I'm excited for that. Should be a lot of fun.
The Masters is on.
Well, I'm sure
Yankees and Rays.
I'm sure it'll be on.
Baby
but
shower?
I wanted to give them a shout out as well as
you were a man's man.
After this, I'm also going to the Taste of Seminole, which is a big event that the high school kids throw on, where they organize all these local restaurants and businesses, and they all have a taste of all the different foods.
You know, I love you. You know that, and I applaud you. And you don't get more affirmation of what you're doing right. I can see the look on these kids' face when they're talking to you. They all love. They probably think, Coach Botham, he's the man. He's cool. I'm serious. I'm being serious. I applaud you, my
well,
man.
I try and show all the kids that I do really care about them. I want nothing but the best for them.
And you haven't grown up yet, so you can relate to them.
I'm getting a little. They're calling me Unc now, Mike. They're saying I'm getting old.
Well, when they start calling you OG, like that's my label now, then you're in trouble. Unc's not bad. What do you got going on, my man?
Supposed to be going to the Rays and Yankees game tomorrow. But I told Ben, the friend I'm supposed to be going with, she's one of those really loud fans who's yelling at the players.
And she's a Yankees fan?
She's a big Yankees fan.
Oh, brother.
But so luckily I got the tickets in her name, so I might or might not be going. I'm not quite sure yet.
Okay. Why would you want to go in the first place?
Well, see, I've still got friends that work over there. So the Yankees were actually my favorite visiting team that would come in. They're just really nice people from staff-wise and like players. And your guy is one of my best friends, Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to go say hi to them.
Lovely.
But the problem is, I probably won't stay for the entire game, even if I do go. I just want to go pregame and say hi.
I tell you what, we stayed. I was shocked. We went over to the Cubs' second game, and the Cubs won handily. And I hate to say this to all my Rays listeners, viewers. We were ecstatic. My kids grew up in the Cubs organization since I worked for them, and my little guys, and it was a great day. And I tell you what, you could just feel the electricity because there was a lot of Chicago Cubs fans. Mm-hmm. We were here first; it was jam-packed. But the bottom line is that it was a great environment, and it's a lot brighter in there now. You'll notice when you go, it's brighter.
You can see it on TV.
Yeah, there's no the big screen, enormously more, much more brighter, and it felt great coming back into the Trop. I'll tell you right now.
Hey, I can't wait to get back in there. The last game I saw in the Trop was against the Yankees, and I got to see a a Yankees fan chuck a full beer at somebody's head and then them get into a fight
Nothing
out in the
says
stands.
Yankees fan like that.
It was spectacular. I was telling them to leave them in. They almost got them out of there about like an inning, 2 innings before, and I just kept yelling at them. I said, "Let them have fun. It's a baseball game." I'm yelling at them. I'm heckling
throwing
them.
beer
well,
on
no, this
people?
was before they threw the beer.
Oh.
They were just talking crap to each other, and they were flicking.
That's how they roll.
They were flipping the bird to each other. I'm like, he's just calling him number one. We're good. Get out. Leave him be. Let him be. And then he chucks a beer, and then what do you know? It turns
Security
into
didn't like
it
that.
turns into a big Donnybrook, and the guys start fighting.
This was in the Trop?
Oh yeah, it was in the Trop. The last game I went to it was a Yankees game at the Trop.
So 2 years ago.
Yeah. So that was a good
Oh,
old
hey,
time.
hearken for those days. Hey, as I mentioned, we have a new alliance now with Shipyard Sports Connection Productions down here. And now that I'm diving into the products, we've got Shipyard on Draft down here at Fergs Sports Bar and Grill. And a couple of things. We talk about ice pick vodka all the time on the tee floor, especially. You can get it in 48